We're doing it live.
Yeah.
Hey guys, this is Dan, whose voice is failing in case you can't tell. I apparently overdid it during the Moss Bank game. And we are playing the last game of the entire Meowrathon. No press, Greg.
Oh yeah. It'll be great.
We're at 1,700 of our 2,000 goal. We've just totally blown last year's total out of the water, so I'm super stoked about that. But let's see if we can't. Let's see if we can't get to 2,000. I would love to see it. And that being said, you can donate to make good and or bad things happen. So I'd like to see good things since I'm playing. And I'm sure Greg would be very excited for some bad things. And with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to Greg.
Okay. Hello everybody. So we're playing the game called Happiest Apocalypse on Earth. Just to go through that real quick. It's a powered by the Apocalypse engine system, which basically means that you roll 2d6 and things happen. It means very narrative structured. If that sounds vaguely interesting, look it up. It's a fantastic system, but I'm not going to go into too many specifics for it right now. The specific game is called Happiest Apocalypse on Earth, and the kind of overarching theme I use to sell it to people is imagine Cthulhu ran Disney World. And that's pretty much how it goes. In this particular case, all of our players will be guests. So they'll be visiting Cthulhu Disney World, which isn't actually Disney World. I'll introduce the park in a second. As Dan had mentioned, there will be donation incentives. You can donate money to make good things happen to the characters and bad things happen to the characters. I would like bad things. Dan disagrees.
I would like to think.
To go through the quick setting, so the park is called Uncle Alexander's Animal Sanctuary. Now, Uncle Alexander's Animal Sanctuary is a massive, sprawling area acting as a zoo and animal sanctuary. Uncle Alexander's is a fixture of the area and has been around as long as anyone can remember, nor can actually anyone pinpoint who Uncle Alexander is. This certainly deters no one from attending. The multiple biomes, themed after natural areas, hold a significant number of species, far beyond what people would reasonably expect. The Egypt exhibit is a real thriller, holding a 2-scale version of the Sphinx that some archaeologists swear looks to be at least as old as the one in Egypt. Other notable areas are mountains, the savanna, the jungle, and many others. But all this pales to the greatest attraction of Uncle Alexander's, the annual Wildcat Romp. Once a year, for one night only, Uncle Alexander's shifts its focus to the wildcats of the world, and a select group of guests are invited to experience the event for themselves. An event made even more exciting because, for this night only, Uncle Alexander's removes all its cages and all its fences, and the wildcats are allowed to roam free and interact with the guests on their own terms. It's an insanely exclusive event. No one knows how to receive tickets, no matter how famous the asker or how much money is spent on trying, no tickets ever surface. And not even the most devout Uncle Alexander fans have met or even heard of anyone that's attended. Some people quietly whisper that the event is a farce, an annual marketing stunt only. But these people are wrong. Our players have been cordially invited to Uncle Alexander's annual Wildcat Romp. The gates will open at 6 p.m. sharp. Dinner will serve at 8 p.m. They are allowed to dress as they choose. There's no need to RSVP. Your attendance has been assured, and we look forward to seeing you there. So this is the park and the event we'll be attending. First of all, let's quickly run through our characters we have. We can start with Dan.
Hey, I'm Dan, and I am playing Harry Williams. I am technically unemployed. I do kind of odd jobs, painting fences, chopping wood, whatever, to put food on the table. And I'm going to this place not because I want to, but because my BFF will probably be eaten by a lion if I don't.
So, BFF Nikki, would you like to go for your character?
Hi, I'm Nikki from Builder to No One, and I will be playing Piper Whitworth, aka PJ Whitewell, who is a famous author, at least to her personal choices, and she is a little obsessed with cats. It's a little, just a lot. She wants to hug all the cats. That's her goal today. She's been trying to get into this place for like 5 years and has been fighting tooth and nail trying to look on the black market. The black market to her is eBay, but the black market.
Is it
Fine.
okay if my character calls you Pipes because we've known
It's
each
fine.
other for so long?
That is fun. And she's decked out in cat ears and cat dress and cat jewelry. That's about it.
Okay. Josh, would you care to introduce your character?
Yes. Hey, I'm Josh. I am playing. I already forgot my character's name. Gerald De Niro. I picture him kind of as a combination of the lawyer from Jurassic Park mixed with Slugworth from Willy Wonka. He's here in the park looking hopefully to find some good lawsuit material to really fund his firm even higher. He's well off, but you know what? Who doesn't want even more money?
Hey, Chris, you're up.
All right, I am Chris, and I will be playing Tim Michelson, who also works at the same law firm. Just kind of a kind of chill dude, kind of straight to the point sort of guy. Very professional kind of person, uptight a little bit. Yeah.
And Jason?
Hi, I'm Jason, and I'm playing Blag Jaffney. Blag Jaffney is, I believe, very much too old to be an assistant, but is an assistant probably to both these gentlemen at the law firm, and does not want to be here at all, even though he's going to be casual about it and not really care. He has no interest in joy or anything, which is why he's carrying a pistol with him secretly. He's a terrible, shitty person. I'm so sorry for the language, Dan. He's just a bad person. Just be
It's
prepared.
8 p.m. on a Sunday. Who cares?
All right.
Yeah, it's really good now. Okay, so now we open up. The time is 6:30 p.m., notably a half hour before it opens, and Piper rolls up in her conspicuously cat-themed car. She somehow managed to procure some nice magnetic cat ears to stick right on top, and she steps out of the car, all excited, to the large stone walls and the wrought iron gate leading into it. The parking lot is notably empty because it is a half hour beforehand. Shortly afterwards, Dan rolls up on his motorcycle, keeping a conspicuous distance as if he's with her, but doesn't necessarily want to claim the cat-themed car.
It's fair.
What do you two do?
Fun real life story. I actually had an orange car with Bengal seat seat covers in real life.
Well, I obviously walk over to PJ, who's probably already like just kind of bustling over to wherever the entrance is, because she just wants to pet all the cats. Well, that printed well. And I'm like, Pipes, gotta be careful, okay? These aren't house cats.
I mean, they're bigger house cats.
No, literally, they don't even live in a house. They live outside.
But that doesn't mean I can't pet them.
Maybe some, but I feel like maybe we should before you try. Maybe we should validate with an assistant or someone who's nearby first, because I just.
It has to be safe. They're letting them hang out and just out and about, right? Like, why would they put out wild animals that aren't safe? These cats are clearly safe, and I swear, if we see an ocelot, I'm petting it. I don't care.
Literally just said wild animal, and I feel like that's the key word here.
Maybe they're tamed wild animals?
As you two are bicker talking, a staff member walks up and is like, "Oh, our first two visitors, lady and gentlemen. Welcome to the Wildcat Romp. We will be opening the gates in about 15 minutes. So if you care to go take a seat, we can wait for others to get here."
Look, I have a question. Super important. Can we pet the cats?
It is discouraged for your health, but
not no.
I feel like that's that's a very soft but firm no, I would say.
At the annual Wildcat Romp, nothing is off limits. You may do as you please, but be aware that we will not be responsible for your health.
I think that's the catch right there.
Look, if I die hugging a lion, I'm dying hugging a lion. I'm ready to go. My life dream will be made.
In the background, you hear a putt-putt-putt of a larger car, and it pulls up next to you. And as the car pulls up, Tim steps out of the driver's seat with Gerald and Blag following shortly behind him. Gerald, you actually step out right in time to hear, but we will not be responsible for your health. Do you do anything?
Yeah, I perk up. I turn to my two associates and I go, all right, you two. When Scotch and Butterworth firm sent us here, there's going to be wild animals roaming. I just heard the words, the buttery sauce of money sentences floating through the air. Keep your eyes peeled.
Did you get a degree in florid language at Yale? God, why are we here? This is just... I get it.
It's Jeff.
But I cannot die hugging a cat.
I assume you want me to take notes on anything we hear that's terrible. That's why you want me here?
Is this your last name's Jaffney, correct?
Yeah.
I'm just making okay.
Yes, it is.
Mr. Jaffney, your unenthusiasm for making this firm money has not gone unnoticed. You're here on thin ice, I tell you.
Oh, well, darn.
You have that mobile phone in your pocket, have that camera ready at all times.
Yeah, fine. Here.
I kind of roll my eyes. I'm just here to make money. I'm not super jazzed on the company. Just here
What
for
was
the
your
payday.
3 names again? I wanted to write them down so I don't forget.
Blag Jaffney.
I know yours, Jesus.
Tim Michelson.
Okay.
Mr. De Niro will be good enough for you.
That's
Your character isn't Fancy Silverthroat. That's not the name of your character.
Okay, that's all I needed. Thank you. Continue.
So Piper and Harry, you're standing off to the side as the staff member has turned to talk to the lawyer and his 2 companions. Can you introduce yourself to them, or is there anything else you'd want to do? Pretty much done introductions at this point. And they got down names.
They look fancy.
Is there anything else
Why are
anybody
they
else
here?
I mean, no one really knows anyone who's ever been invited, so I guess I don't know what the criteria are for that.
Huh.
Have either of the 2 of you been injured, or are you planning on being injured while you're here?
Plan on petting a cat, but no.
No.
Okay. All right. Can I take both of your photos?
No?
No, thank you.
It wasn't of you. I swear it was something behind you.
I lean into
Oh, we're
Mr.
taking selfies? I take a selfie with you.
I lean into Mr. Jaffney and I say, keep an eye on that one, pointing towards Piper.
Fine.
I already am, okay?
You weren't supposed to hear. You're being too loud, boss.
Keep an eye on that one.
Okay.
I mean, we're all right here. I mean... It's like
The Uncle
whispering in a
Alexander
bathroom.
staff member. Yes. The Uncle Alexander staff member has been kind of stepped off to the side and just smiles wryly as if there's a secret he knows that you don't. But while you're talking, a lot more cars show up and the parking lot begins to fill up. Once it's about half full, he approaches you. He's like, gentlemen and lady, I would just like you to know that the gates are now open and you may enter the park to do as you please. Do you care to follow me?
One question. How old is this person?
Probably mid-20s.
Okay, yeah. One question, young man. I see more cars pulling up than I thought. I thought this was supposed to be an exclusive event.
This is a good point.
It will be considered exclusive come tomorrow.
Rumor has it only 100 people are invited every year.
Yeah, I've heard that one too.
That's probably because I told you.
A
Oh, yeah,
cash
that's true.
register cha-ching goes off in the back of Mr. De Niro's head.
I've been putting
Yeah,
in
Steph-
petitions for 5 years to get in, and this is the first year I got in.
I've never submitted. Does that count for anything? I was forced to come along. How does that
Very
make you
lucky.
feel? No.
Forced is a strong word. Okay.
If I don't come along, I don't get to keep my job. The only bonus here is there's a wet bar. There is a wet bar, right?
There are plenty of wet bars, yes. We do provide all the alcohol you would desire.
Whew. Okay. Yep.
Yes,
Happy.
yes, Mr. Jaffney. We're not paid here to talk and hear about your professional history. May we enter?
As the staff member hears this, he turns around, beckons you to follow, and he just walks through the gate, giving you VIP access, cutting you to the front of the line as you were the first there.
Yeah,
As
I've
you
worked for
step
the
in, you
company
enter
for
the-
a dozen years, and you see, when I started there, I was but a boy. I'm sorry, you didn't want to hear that. I'm so sorry. You're busy. Please lead us into the park.
A staff member ignores your nice little interruption and keeps going forward. This is his normal life as the staff member of Uncle Alexander's. As you enter the park, Piper, as you're very well aware, you step into a nice paved stone area with a massive fountain shooting forward. There are signs pointing off in each of the cardinal directions. You've come from the south to the north, leads towards the savannas. The right leads towards the Egyptian exhibit. You see the Sphinx in its normal spot prominently against the skyline. To the west, you see the rainforest and the mountains, as you've come to expect. There are other guests filing in, sort of filing off. You don't necessarily see anything notable about the area, but you do know dinner is not supposed to be served until 8 p.m., so perhaps you're just intended to wander around. Is there anything? What do you do?
You are right. It is a very pretty place. I will give you that.
I start pointing to and if we go over that way, that's where you can find normally the tigers, but the tigers aren't in their cages, so they're probably not over there. But if you go that way, and she's just rattling which directions for every single part of the park.
Guess we don't need a map.
No, I have this place memorized. I've been here 117 times.
I try to quietly assure my associates, follow her.
Just in case you guys don't know, I've been here about 108 times myself. I just never want to come.
Listen, it's not about what is in this park. It's
Sure.
about who is in this park.
And who does not come out at the end of this? Because let's
Yes.
be honest.
So
You
we
didn't count,
do
you
not
didn't count.
need we do not need to know where the attractions are. We need to know where the people who are going to pet the big cats are.
But if you want to go see the attractions, you can go that way. That's a really fun Ferris wheel.
Not as fun as she's making out to me. That's fine.
No, it's super fun. You can see everything from up the top.
I turn to my associates and we have to start talking quieter to each other.
You're right behind us, though.
We have to start talking really, really quiet.
I mean, even that quiet I can hear. I don't know.
Ah, damn it. It's not going well.
So, Piper, as the chatter behind you dies down from the law firm, you hear a very loud roar coming very close to you, off to the side, off the path. What do you do?
She gasps very happily and turns towards the roaring animal.
Can Piper tell what is making that roar just from
yeah.
the sound of it? I
It's a
feel
lion.
Lion. Oh, Jesus. I told you, you're going to get eaten by a lion. I didn't think it would be in the first 5 minutes, but shit.
So, Piper, you actually can tell what the roar is. Is it a lion or is it something else?
No, wait, that's not a lion. Before she turns around, she's like, that is a jaguar? Jaguar. She turns around. Am I right?
I think it's an ocelot.
Is it an ocelot?
It sounds like money to me.
It is, in fact, an ocelot. You see a flicker of its tail as it passes through the bush.
You're trying to get me killed, Greg. Harry.
What do you
there's an
do?
ocelot. I want to pet it.
Look, let's... Can we just start by just kind of looking at it from a distance and kind of figuring out what his deal is?
I
pull
get
out
my
cat
phone ready.
treats. I throw a cat treat at the ocelot.
The ocelot kind of flicks its tail back and forth at the little spot. You can see it from the edge of the grass, and it perks its head up out of the grass, just like a curious cat. It sniffs around and kind of approaches the cat treat you've put down, just a little gingerly, but eventually it kneels down and starts nibbling at it before looking at you expectantly.
I pull out my smartphone and I record it. I'm like, guys, for the gram, this is the best moment of my life. Look how close I am. For the cat gram.
The ocelot perks its head up as it sees the camera come out and kind of shifts itself as if posing for your picture.
Oh my goodness, it's so smart. Look how smart ocelots are. I told you, they're so smart. Exactly.
Are there any staff members nearby?
You see a few of them working in the background. And actually, conveniently as you think that, one of them approaches you and goes, gentleman, lady. As the ocelot hears this, it darts off into the bush, Piper. We have some work to do up front before dinner is served. Would you guys care to leave the main area and head towards one of the exhibits?
You scared away the ocelot.
Traditionally, in a theme park experience, I've never been ushered from one thing to the next, but I suppose if you've got a goal for us and you need us to walk through a certain place, fine. I'm sorry, bosses, is that okay with the two of you?
Is
Last
everybody
time
else
I
gonna
came
be
here,
there?
you wanted to hunt man. I just feel like I should point that out, boss. You wanted to hunt men. That's all I'm gonna
How
point
close
out.
are they?
Yes, Mr. Michelson and I are into the most dangerous game.
Yeah, it's gross.
I told you before, when you word it that way, it sounds way worse. We're looking for clients. Stop calling it that.
So I heard somebody say they weren't used to staff members necessarily acting like that in a park. Was that right? Something good to happen. Okay.
Is it me
you can
petting
do
an
that.
ocelot? No, I'm kidding.
I mean, in my character's experience, he just feels, but everything's an inconvenience to him. But if he feels ushered to the next thing, it's even more of an inconvenience. However, I think
Well, no, that's fine. What I was going to ask is, you're kind of questioning their actions. So,
Yeah.
are you kind of trying to pick up on somebody's tell to see if they're lying or bluffing or hiding something? Perhaps.
I mean, a little bit. I mean,
Would you
it
care
seems a little shady.
Okay. So you'd care to dig a little deeper? Would you like
Sure.
to roll 2d6 and add your wise?
Let's do it. All right. Well, that's a 12.
Can I do that too? Because I scared away the cats.
That's
So you are-
so a 14.
So I will come back to that question in a second. I don't think yours would necessarily be dig a little deeper. There's the other investigation move. I'll double check those. But to dig a little deeper, you rolled a 12?
Yeah, plus 2 is
so
14.
Oh, perfect. So you get to hold 2. And what you can do with each of those is you can trade them one for one to ask me a question. The questions are you telling the truth? So basically, is the staff member telling the truth? What's the staff member feeling? What do they intend to do? What do they wish that you would do? What do you not want me to know? Or how could you, as the character, get the staff member to do something? And you can trade those anytime between now and, I mean, eventually they'll become narratively irrelevant, but
Sure.
until that point.
Should I ask one now? Am I free to ask one now?
Yeah, yep. You're free to ask one or both now.
Hey, Chuck. What's your name? Chuck? What's your name?
My name is, in fact, Chuck. It is not my name tag.
That's why I thought that. This is going to sound like a weird thing, but what don't you want me to know?
He smiles wryly, kind of bites his lip. He's a little nervous to admit it before glancing back furtively at the gates. You eventually realize that his furtive glances are not furtive glances, they are, "Oh, look behind me." And as you do so, you see a bunch of other staff members carrying in pieces of wood and carpentry and stone that look conspicuously not for setting up a dinner area and conspicuously for barricading gates.
Huh. You bosses, gentlemen, are you seeing what I'm seeing?
Yeah, money.
Okay. It looks like they're possibly building. So I don't know that we're going to make it out.
This is why Mr. Michelson is quickly gaining on the ladder of our firm, Mr. Jaffney.
I keep saying you can fire me. I'll collect unemployment. I just can't quit.
I turn around
We'll
because I
see
hear them
if
talking
you
about, like,
do
what's
good.
going on over there?
You, gentlemen, what's your name, sir? Hank?
Harry.
Chuck? Harry. Can I call you Hank?
No.
Hank?
Harry's already my nickname.
Oh, fine. There. Do you see? Look behind him. Do you see what's going on? They're going to barricade us in.
Is there a cat?
No.
Perhaps maybe they just don't want the cats getting out. I mean, I don't always want to think the worst of people.
Well, you know what? It might help you out. Give it a shot. In the meantime, it looks to me like we're about to be barricaded in. That's all. That's all. My bosses won't listen to me. I need to align myself with somebody who doesn't want to eat humans or rare animals.
That's a fair point. But perhaps this is just IKEA rules. The only way out is through.
I guess so. Guess there wouldn't be much happening today if it weren't for that rule. I guess
Are there
we can't go
arrows on the
back.
floor?
Yeah,
Yeah, are there arrows? That's a good question.
I'm not sure maybe if I need to roll for this. Do I see any children pulling a move similar to Piper, getting too close to cats with their phones?
So it sounds like you're trying to search for something you haven't necessarily seen, which
Yes.
falls under find something there that wasn't there before. So if you could roll
Okay.
2d6 plus your wise stat.
Okay. That would be a 9 total.
Okay, so you hold one, and it's the same as, or similar to the other one, except your set of questions you can ask is different. They are, what happened here? What here is useful? How much time has passed? Which enemy is the biggest threat? Is there something secret or hidden about this? What or who should I be on the lookout for?
I'm going to do the what or who should I be on the lookout for.
Okay. So you look around, and perhaps unsurprisingly, the biggest things you should be on the lookout for would be the wildcats, who seem to be acting a lot friendlier than you'd necessarily expect, and the Uncle Alexander staff members, who seem to be acting less hospitable than you would expect at an event such as this. You can take +1 ongoing for anything using that information as well. So that's just an extra +1 if you act on cats are bad. Which is like everything.
That's wrong, Lou. Really.
Can I ask the staff member if these, because kind of going off of that these cats are acting really like one of them posed for a picture and they're kind of seeming like they're maybe a little bit trained. So I'm trying to figure out if there's going to be an accident or if this is just a waste of time.
Oh, he answers, I assure you that all of our cats are behaving exactly as they've been trained to do. You wouldn't think that we'd lower down the gates and the fences and let you roam freely without any certain precautions taken, right?
See, Harry?
But at the same time, as we're walking in, you're like, it's
Don't touch the
it's
cats,
at
it's
your
dangerous.
risk. I mean, I feel like I'm getting
Even-
mixed messages here.
Even the best trained animal can act out at certain points. We just want to cover all of our bases, as I'm sure our lawyer friend would understand.
Yes, covering all the bases.
Gerald, you don't remember telling him you were a lawyer.
Oh.
I mean, they have that lawyer vibe.
They just smell like a lawyer.
To kind of pass this over, like, I don't know, in my own mind to kind of, I guess, purposefully blind myself, I just pass him my card. So it's like, now you know for sure I'm a lawyer. Very perceptive of you.
He smiles wryly at you and just tucks your card away.
Do you know what I am? Oh, I
Yeah,
think
looks
it's
at
a
you.
magic trick.
Yeah.
He's just doing a cold reading. He got lucky because this guy's a schmuck.
Well, that's what I want to
Yeah.
find out.
He looks at you, leaving his little wry grin on his face. Miss Whitworth, we know who all of our attendees are.
That doesn't answer the question.
Just tell her.
I elbow Mr. Jaffney a little bit and say, including the sour pusses.
Oh, don't worry, Gerald. I don't believe anybody here will be very sour by the end.
Mr. De Niro, young man.
My apologies, Mr. De Niro. I meant with only the utmost hospitality. But if you'll excuse me, we really need to vacate the central area for the construction work, and I need to get back to my work. Will that be okay?
I walk over to Piper and I go, Miss, what was your name again?
Piper?
Your full name, please. Formalities and such.
I don't know either.
Miss Piper, I do
I
believe
get in between. I'm like, she said no, sir.
Well, you and your friend might be excited to know. I think I saw that ocelot scamper into that unmanaged construction work. It would be very interesting to go in there without hard hats and find an ocelot.
He's what's known as an ambulance pusher. He pushes people in front of an ambulance.
Right. That's why, like,
I lean back towards PJ, and I'm like, "There's more than one ocelot in the zoo, right?
Yeah, there's like 6.
Let's go find another one. How's that sound? Where are they at?
That way.
Let's go that way."
Nice.
As if on cue, you hear a scattered howl of what sounds like a family of ocelots.
Quickly, we're gonna miss it. Starts away from the lawyers.
All right, let's go.
I follow along, hoping to see a family of ocelots maul someone. Not in a malicious way, in a
Of course
financial
not.
way.
Oh, sure.
But also, I kind of want to see a family of ocelots a little bit too.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
do I
But
see
mostly
them
the
following
payday.
us?
Are Gerald, Tim, Blag, are you doing anything to try to hide, or are you just kind of following?
I'm following very closely because I'm trying to associate with them rather than my bosses. If I'm honest, I'm going to be annoyingly close.
Yeah.
I'm okay. I'm sorry. I'm really bad with names. What was your character's name again?
Mine,
Jason. Yeah.
Blag.
Black.
It's such a common name. I'm not sure how you forgot that.
You're lucky you didn't play the last game.
Oh yeah.
It was
Like-
harder.
Okay, so Blag was it? Look, if you agree not to take my picture,
Mhm.
I can get you away from your bosses. Maybe.
Like financially independent, or just like away from them for the duration of this trip.
Duration of the trip, maybe.
Can you get me fired?
Maybe.
All right. Yeah, okay, that's fine. That's good enough for me. Yeah. No pictures. No pictures. I'll pretend. I'll turn it off. I'll pretend to take pictures
Sounds like-
though,
sounds
just
like a
so
good
that.
idea.
Okay. That's
Okay,
fine.
I want to use I want to use my knowledge of the park to find hopefully the best way to go to hide.
Mhm.
So you are going to roll, or you're going to use find the second star to the right using your innate
Yeah.
knowledge. Okay, so roll plus wise.
Oh hell yeah, that's a high number.
What'd you
That's
get
a
after?
14.
14 is definitely going to cover it. So it's the same
wow.
type of ask question as the other ones we've done.
We're turning this
You
into a
get
game
to
of
hold
hide and
2.
seek. Is that what's happening?
Kind of what it sounds like. Okay, so you can ask 2 questions. The options are: what is the quickest way to get to a destination? What is the best way to get to a destination without being seen? What is the path of least resistance? Where is the best place to hide? What is the best way to escape? What is the best way to lose those that are following me?
I want to use that last one and hold the other one for later.
Okay, let's see. So you look around the park real quick, and you're kind of wandering sort of to the northeast between the whatever was north in the Egyptian area to the sort of like forest wildland there. And you remember from all of your experiences in the park that there's actually a slightly off the path, like big cave complex for sort of the cave dwelling animals, just anything who'd want to live in a cave. And it actually seems not terribly far from here. And you know from, again, your vast experience that these aren't just for show caves. These are actually a big network of connected caves under the ground that would be fantastic to head to and to lose anybody who's following you. And it's actually pretty close.
Winnie donated another 10 to put 2 rerolls into a pool for all of us to be able to use.
Ooh.
Fine by me.
Thank you, Winnie.
You.
Okay, trust me. I know a way out of this. Follow me. And I'm just going to start speed walking.
Okay.
Towards the
So Gerald and Tim, right as they begin speed walking away, you get distracted by another staff member who approached you. He looks more like a manager instead of a normal person. He's like, "Excuse me, gentlemen. I have heard from another one of my staff members that there may be a problem. Is there anything I can help you with?"
We're trying to kind of not get found out of what our ulterior motives to screw over the park here. I don't got any. I just want to double check. We didn't sign anything coming in. Did anybody else?
Yeah. He looks at you with the same wry grin his staff member had, and he's like, kind of looks at you just a little bit, keeps the same wry look on his face, and he's like, "You did not. Paperwork is only good when you leave."
That's good to know.
I like write that down. like yes. I would like to use.
I don't like that sentence.
You're right. We weren't there.
Expose
I know.
those who don't think.
Okay.
To force the staff member, like the other group's definitely gotten some mileage on us now, but I want to try to get rid of this staff member.
Okay, so expose those who don't think. So when you insult somebody, roll plus wicked to demoralize them. What do you tell him?
I go, "Excuse me, what was your name again?"
Oh, my name is. You can call me Mr. Smith.
You wouldn't happen to be Roy Smith, would you?
You certainly know your employees. I am, in fact, Roy Smith.
I pull out of my briefcase some papers and I go, "Roy Smith, you've been served."
Okay. Roll 2d6 plus wicked.
8.
You got an 8?
Yep. Total.
Okay. So he, for the first time in your visit to the park, you see him look down furtively as if this is something that should not be happening. And his little wry smile cracks into a frown. He folds up the paper, sticks it into his pocket. And he's like, "I will take this under advisement. Please excuse me."
Yes, please do.
I holler as he's walking away. Don't lose that.
Yeah, it seems to ignore you and is heading back towards the gates of the construction work. But as you turn around, you notice that Blag seems to have wandered off with Piper and Harry. What do you do?
What do you think, Mr. Michelson?
I'm mainly concerned because whoever has been, or the person who has been taking all of the pictures for us is now gone. And I also have a phone, but do not want to, I don't want to like bring myself to that level of doing like menial kind of work. So I kind of look over at my associate and go, do you know where Blog went?
Yes, and my phone's storage is very low. I'm concerned Mr. Jaffney's loyalties are falling elsewhere. We should find him out very quickly.
Well, I ain't concerned about his loyalties. He ain't never liked us, but he's good at his job, so we got to go find him.
That's very corporate of you.
Yeah, very much so. This guy's never going to get severance.
So
Okay.
would it be look for something maybe? What I'm trying to remember. Let's see here.
Yeah, I'm seeing what probably the. I'm assuming you're going to try to figure out where they went, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, you could just wander off without them and go, but it doesn't sound like that's the goal here.
I mean, despite our party having its differences, I'm always nervous to split the party. So
It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Like I keep saying on the description, what could possibly go wrong?
Exactly.
I can use, maybe I can use find out what all this is to try to see if any staff members know where a family of ocelots might be.
ooh, yeah.
To start heading in that direction.
That would be perfect. So you're going to approach some of the staff members that are around, and you're going to sort of ask them, basically, go, "Hey, we heard some ocelots, and our friends went there. Could you give us some direction?" Is that what you're going to do?
They're gonna get mauled first.
Okay. So roll 2d6 plus wise.
All right, so it's 11.
Okay. So there's kind of two parts to this. The first one I'm going to do is basically tell you that you get the information. So as you look around, you approach the staff member, and he kind of smiles at you that you seem to be gaining a reputation, and it seems like he's happy you're kind of wanting to cooperate with them and attend the Wildcat romp instead of just make a mess of things. So he looks around, and he's like, "Oh, certainly. The ocelots usually nest over in that direction." And he points towards some of the a grassy area. And he doesn't point towards the path that they took. It's a little too hard to see, but it does point towards a path that kind of follows towards the same rocky caves I was telling them about. So that's the first part of it. The second part of it is you can actually choose an additional effect because you rolled a 10 or higher. So pick one of the options I'm going to give you. You discovered a litany of information, and all of your moves because of this will get +1 forward. I can tell you another secret that you weren't looking for, but is still going to be useful. Or your research explains a great deal more about the overall situation and eases the impact of what's happened to you, restoring 1 shock. Nobody has shock, so that wouldn't do much. Do any of those sound appealing?
Let's go for another secret.
Another secret. Okay. The staff member, likely just because he's super thrilled that you've been playing along, leans over to you and he's like, "Don't let anybody know I told you, but after you follow down this path, there's a cave structure where the ocelots like to nest, and inside that cave structure, we actually have a vast tunnel underneath the entire park that kind of stretches between each area. You could use it as a shortcut to get around."
Well, that is good to know. My friend Gerald here is very excited to see the ocelots and probably some other big cats too. So very happy to hear about these shortcuts. Are there guardrails there by chance, or anything like that?
There are no guardrails. These tunnels are usually not open to the public, but during the Wildcat romp, everything goes.
Great, glad to hear that.
Purge rules, got it.
I lean in, trying to be quieter, maybe not. But I'm like, "Mr. Michelson, please refer to me as Mr. Dinero in front of the help. You've been to my yacht. I don't mind using first name basis with you, good friend, but in front of the help.
I turn to him and kind of BS a little bit and just no, it's to sell it that we're friends. That's all. But really, it's because I'm not gonna do that because I see myself as a little bit above, even though I'm not. Again, just kind of with the whole I'm not gonna take pictures of things or anything like that. So I'm not calling anybody Mister.
So, Gerald and Tim, do you begin walking down the path towards where he said the ocelots would be?
Yes.
Okay. So as you begin walking down the path, having your little talk back and forth, we step cut, and Harry, Piper, and Blag, you hike through some of the tall grass, and you finally crest a really small hill to see a big cave den structure, exactly what you knew to find, Piper. And inside that structure is, as you peek just gently towards the entrance, a family of ocelots just sitting in there, looking all happy. What do you do?
Oh my god, I got 2 things with 1 wish. She's like, okay, so these caves, they can go anywhere in the place. I accidentally found out because I got lost in them once and couldn't find the bathroom. But
no.
it's okay. I found my way out. But there's also lots.
Yeah, look, it's a family of ocelots, which tells me that it might be a bit dangerous to get too close. I don't know if they're like mama bears, but you don't want to mess around too much. I know the little ones are adorable, but
Are there babies?
On cue, one of the baby ocelots steps up, looks at you, and does that cat thing where it kind of perks up its back, like going, "Pet me, pet me."
don't do it. I know that look. I've seen it at the pet store.
I hold up some cat treats to the little baby.
It sniffs gingerly and sort of just tiptoes forward on its little ocelot toes, just trying to sneak a little treat out of your hand without being conspicuous.
Cool.
Jesus Christ.
Does it eat out of my hand?
He eats one out of your hand.
Fantastic! I win. Okay.
I'm done with the game now, guys. I
pet it. I pet it gently, very, very cautiously, where the mom can't see me petting it, and it's like, it's so soft. Okay, we gotta go. And then she looks back and looks. No, we gotta go. And then she continues going down the cave.
I can grab one if you want. We could take it with us. We're not
You would
supposed to do
die.
that? Oh, all right.
Yeah,
That's what my
Blag,
bosses
as
would normally make me do.
they're still
so.
a mama.
Like as you say that, one of the ocelot babies kind of sneaks forward and pokes his head around your backpack.
Of course he does.
They understand.
Like he knows.
Yeah. I pet it, but to shoo it away. Pet. Okay. Bye, little guy.
Isn't it soft?
It's so soft.
Guys, I feel like this is a really bad idea. The mom is right there.
So you're I'm gonna stretch this one just a little bit. You're kind of being bold and daring by trying to shoo the very friendly ocelot away from you. Okay, so could I have you roll 2d6 plus brave?
Boy. All right. Let's see. That's a 6.
You rolled a 6. Is that after plus adding brave?
That's after the plus. Yep.
Oh, okay. So the ocelot kind of just winds its way around your arm, just kind of purring for it and against it. And you find that it's so soft and you can't let it go.
The cat will.
So the ocelot's going with you. And you can either stick it in your bag or you can let it perch on your shoulders like a nice little parrot.
Guess I'll keep it on my shoulders. More fun.
Hey,
that way. I
Piper.
could pet it the whole time that way.
That's true.
Hey, Piper, you look back and you see that one of the baby ocelots is just perched on Blag's shoulder as he follows behind you into the caves.
I look at the mom ocelot. She doing anything?
The mom ocelot. So
The mom's a lot.
The mom ocelot, yeah.
let's see. No, the mom ocelot is just kind of just chilling. Like, this is perfectly fine.
I trust these ocelots even less than the employees.
I go to pet the one on him. So soft. Okay, we gotta go.
You as you begin heading farther into the cave, you hear the PA system over the park blare to life, and over it you hear the voice of one of the attendees goes, "Ladies and gentlemen of the park and attendees of the Wildcat Romp, I would just like to let all of our esteemed guests know that dinner will be served in 15 minutes." And then it cuts off.
Did they tell us, is dinner at the front or is it elsewhere? I don't remember.
Last time it was near the front, but that was last time, and it was not the Wildcat Romp. This was a different situation.
Would I know where dinner's gonna be held?
You would not. It seems conspicuously absent from everything they've been selling you.
Well, there's
so,
a restaurant. We could go to that
I'm
place.
not
I
very
guess.
wise, but Dan is concerned.
Yeah.
Okay.
I turned to Mr. Michelson real quick. I'm like, where's this located? People could have food allergies.
I don't know. Nobody's telling. I know as much as you do. You know this. I don't know why you keep on asking me these things.
Miss Piper will have information on that undoubtedly.
Well, then let's stop talking and get to him.
I bet my boss is right
as
now
you
thinking
finish
about
saying
how
it?
terrible dinner would be. They taught me how to not do the Heimlich. They taught me to watch.
That's terrible. Would you
that
like me to
sounds
show you
terrible.
how to do the Heimlich?
Yes, please.
I will
I'd
show.
forgotten.
I'll show you when we have some free time.
All right. Pet.
As this little conversation is going, Gerald and Tim, you approach the little cave structure, and you see that there's a conspicuous absence in the ocelot family, where baby ocelot is gone. You do not see Piper, Harry, or Blag. They seem to have gone farther into the cave before you got there. But you do see something out of place. What do you do?
I'm gonna try to go past the ocelots without them noticing. If I know that the mother is missing a baby, I'm just assuming that this ocelot's gonna be mad. And so I want to stay as far away from it as possible, but continue going into the cave.
Okay. So I'm going to say you're being bold and daring, trying to sneak past the scary ocelots. So could you roll 2d6 plus brave?
Oh no.
And Jay, just so you know, a full-grown ocelot is about 2 to 3 feet, so the babies are not much bigger than a regular kitten.
Okay.
I got a 4.
This is, I don't know.
You got a 4.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
So, Gerald, are you following along with Tim?
We could
Assuming
use
he
a
understands
reroll
what
out
he's doing?
there. And
There is a reroll, yes.
I know we have rerolls. I would like to do Control Your Destiny when you use your knowledge of the park and understanding of routines, specifically policy.
well, this is a reroll, so he gets to try again.
Okay, that sounds good. If we're going to use that, that's good.
We'll reroll real quick.
I think that's a fair idea.
I got a 5.
But we could use more. We're going to burn through these guys.
Yeah.
So one higher.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, you got a
Is it 5
5.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Killing it.
I was hoping to
Yeah.
stretch it into using Control Your Destiny into shaming these ocelots and the fact that I know these underground tunnels are used for emergencies.
You're gonna try to intimidate the ocelots with policy?
Yeah.
I think that would more be stop deliberate disobedience.
Oh yeah, that one. Either one. Ooh, even better. Yeah, to shame them into just staying put. Sweet.
So tell me what you do to do this, and we'll go from there.
I pull out of my briefcase a list of the U.S.'s park safety regulations, and I start to drone on and on. And if this is successful, it's almost I don't want to say meditative, mesmerizing to the ocelots. Just this voice continuing in the same monotone drone.
Is there some OSHA
Okay,
in there too?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. I imagine half of it is actually OSHA compliance rules.
I imagine.
So you'll be rolling Charm a Heart into deciding, but you'll be rolling with Wicked instead of Sweet.
Yeah, that wicked roll.
Wicked.
9 total.
Okay. So on a 7 to 9, an NPC will do it, but only if you do something they want for them right then and there to show that you mean it. Okay. So
That is
the mother ocelot walks up to you, and it's unnerving because it actually seems like she understood everything you just said.
Okay.
She rubs against your leg, just kind of in that little cat way where it's like, I'm claiming you. And you kind of get the sense that she will gladly leave the area that she should not be in, but she's going with you.
Oh, jeez. Feeling
You
about
say
all
it's
of
the
this.
mother?
You do what?
Did you say it was the mother?
The mother ocelot, yes.
Okay. I scratch behind her ears going, I see someone else is fond of policies.
You have to be escorted by a member of the park. And get
She,
their staff.
Scritches her head against your fingers and just kind of lets out a little half purr.
Nice.
So are you letting the mother ocelot come with you?
Yes.
Okay. So you continue into the cave, and you seem to get the sense as the mother ocelot takes the lead that she is leading you towards the group of trespassers who just came by.
Perfect. I mean, I lean in again, Mr. Michelson, the most dangerous game.
Again, we are not hunting people. We're getting clients. Stop wording it like that. It's weird, okay? I say it.
So Piper, Harry, and Blag, back to you. You are a little bit ahead in the tunnel, but not much, and you hear the voices that you, Blag, would recognize as Gerald and Tim echoing back through the cave. What do you do?
Oh god, it sounds like somebody got served. I know that tone.
That sound.
Oh god, dang.
Well,
All right.
Pipes is like way ahead up there, so I guess maybe we can do a bit of a brisk jog. Maybe we can just kind of outpace them and get out of here before they find us.
That's fair. Why don't should we leave some fake evidence behind to make them think that something terrible happens so that it stalls them for a while? What do you think?
I mean, we can hear their voices. How much time do we really have to do that? I look around. Is there anything maybe around us that could be used to trick them?
Let's see. Well, sounds like you want to find something that wasn't there before.
Perhaps.
So could you roll 2d6 plus wise?
Sure.
Please do.
I think that was plus wise, which is a negative
Plus wise.
1.
Boy.
So that's an 8.
Okay.
That is an 8. Okay, so you get to hold 1. And the questions are, what happened here? What here is useful? How much time has passed? Which enemy is the biggest threat? Is there something secret or hidden about this? What or who should I be on the lookout for?
I guess, is there something useful?
Is there something useful? Specifically, you're looking for something useful to try to
Get them off our
fake your own
path, yeah.
injury.
Something.
Get them off your path. Okay. Okay, so as you walk forward a little bit more, you come to a split in the path, and it seems like, though you are personally unused to the park, it seems like this is probably somewhere near the center of the park, and you see branches off into multiple different areas of the park. It looks like it would be pretty easy to just follow one branch and leave like a chalk mark or something indicating you went down a different path.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, Pipes, which way should we actually go? The other two ass wipes are like right behind us, and so we're trying to get them off our path. So we're gonna fake them out, but we need to know which way should we go.
Can I use the other hold one for best way to lose the ones that are following me?
Let's see. So,
Or can I not
absolutely.
use the same one?
Yeah, it's a different question, but that does leave: what is the quickest way to get to a destination? What is the best way to get to a destination without being seen? What is the path of least resistance? Where is the best place to hide? And what is the best way to escape? So I think you got plenty of options for you. Yeah.
Yeah. What is the best way to get to the restaurant area without being seen?
Okay. So you spend a lot of time in the restaurant, I imagine, because they keep it Wildcat themed throughout the entire year.
Yes.
So you know that it is almost, it feels like it's in the middle of two of the forts. Luckily, when you got lost and had to use the bathroom, you actually surfaced in the restaurant to use the restaurant's bathroom, and it was very convenient. So you actually know that both of these paths will lead you there, but the easiest route would be to head down one, take a service door on the right, crawl through a little catwalk, and it actually leads right up into the upper portions of the
I love how I know
Wildcat
where the
Cafe.
catwalk is.
I'm picturing that is how you managed to get out last time.
Yeah.
That is exactly what happened. Yes.
Follow me, guys. I know a shortcut.
Before we do that, I look at my smartphone. Do I have service?
Ooh, that is a good question. I'm going to go with no, you do not have service. You're too far underground, and there's all the steel and rock above you is blocking it. But you do have full service, not in the tunnels.
Well, I don't know that because I didn't check it before. I'm assuming that everything's going south, so I lightly toss my phone just slightly down a different path to try, and then I set like an alarm for 10 seconds, and then I'm like, let's go, and like we go the way PJ recommended.
Okay.
I've
How old was
named
that phone?
the Mother Ocelot Statute 15 USC SS 2651, by the way. It's an OSHA act, but, you know, just dealing with asbestos, but being one who loves policies, I figured she would understand.
Okay. So Piper, Harry, and Blag, you begin heading down the catwalk towards the Wildcat Cafe that you believe is hosting the dinner. Gerald and Tim, you are walking just up to the fork in the road they just faked you out on. You hear a chime go off down one tunnel. What do you do?
Go down that tunnel.
I would say that as well. Are we following 15 USC SS 2651, or what way is she going?
She is standing in the middle, her ears perked up as if she's listening for something else. And right on cue, you hear, again over the intercom system, which they seem to have hooked up into the tunnels, "Attention, ladies and gentlemen of the park. Attention, all of the guests of the Wildcat Romp and any other attendees that may be within the park. We would like to let you know that dinner is now served." Gerald, your ocelot tackles you, just like you got tackled in a legal case a few years back when that same statute was used to pummel you down by the opposing law firm. What do you do?
I knew this was gonna happen.
Let's see.
Dan knew this.
I mean, I was pretty aware that I was hoping maybe she would come after you guys, having her baby, but apparently that's less important at the moment. I have a briefcase with +1 harm. Is there something I can do with that?
Oh, you tell me what you want to do with it. Let's go find out.
I want to try to, I don't want to kill 15 USC SS 2651, but I definitely need to get her off of me so I want to smack her with it, not lethally.
Okay, so are you trying to physically attack her and deal damage, or are you trying to intimidate her off of you?
I'd say intimidate her off of me.
Okay, could I get you to roll Bare Your Teeth and Ambitions with Wicked?
Yes.
For the record, Tim feels validated because he tried to avoid these ocelots.
How many Do we have one reroll left? Because
Yes.
I rolled a 6.
You have one left, yes.
Is it okay with the group for my life to use that reroll?
I suppose it's fine.
Yeah, it's
I'm
fine
good
with
with
me.
it.
Okay.
Because this is what's going to bring us together in the end, is shared
Great.
attempted murder by cats.
Better this time, 8 total.
8. Okay. So, let's see. The wildcat, or the ocelot, backs away at the swinging briefcase and looks at you, her head cocked like, I thought we were friends. She starts moving towards you again, as if she's trying to attack you once more. And you can either choose to be bold and daring to try to get her to back off of you for good for now, or you can let her like nibble on you and take -1 forward on the next move.
I'm going to be bold and daring.
Okay, so please roll bold and daring, or be bold and daring with plus brave.
Okay. That would be 7.
Okay. So you're still swinging your briefcase around wildly, and the mother ocelot seems to understand that you don't really want to be attacked now. So she kind of flops down on the floor, looking all dejected, like, well, "Why won't you play with me?"
I yell at the ceiling, "That case was dismissed!"
You hear that case was dismissed, just echoing down every single tunnel. And as if on cue from this case was dismissed, you see what could charitably described as figurative cases of smaller wildcats start coming from some of the tunnels towards you. They seem excited to see you.
Chris,
What
in
do you
real
do?
life, I'm sorry you got paired with me. Because
I don't have, I'm sorry as well, I don't have much in the way of things that could do much. I'm great, it looks like, at finding out stuff. Not fantastic at defending. I can heal us when we get hurt,
okay.
but I cannot save us.
So I'm the tank
So,
of our party right now with my briefcase.
Yeah, yeah, you are.
To be
And,
fair, I'm the one
while-
that split
if you-
everybody
if
up.
you-
This is all.
Yeah.
If you
So,
find
and
me,
while
I
you
do have
two-
a 3 of stout, just heads up.
Oh, okay.
So while you two are staring down the mother ocelot, who seems to want to make you dinner, and the wildcat cases that seem to be approaching you from the tunnels, we snap cut back to Piper, Harry, and Blag. Blag, the intercom announcement has just finished right as you step out into the Wildcat Cafe, and right as you hear dinner is served, your pet ocelot bites your ear. What do you
The
do?
fudge. Okay. All right. Wait a minute. I've just been bitten in the ear as that.
It's
okay.
a love nibble.
It is. How hard of a bite are we talking?
Oh, so you do see a little dribble of blood come out of your ear, but it's not like your ear is now pierced.
Okay. Okay. Somebody get this cat off of me. I don't want to hurt it.
I told you that was going to happen.
I don't care what you told me.
I go
It's
over
what's
and
happening
help
now.
extricate this small ocelot from him.
Okay,
All
so
I have
Harry,
are weapons, so I don't want to kill the cat.
Harry, as you walk over and try to pull the cat off, you become reminded that cats have sharp claws.
Oh no!
So you're facing danger with unblinking courage. Would you care to roll Be Bold and Daring?
At least that's a. Do I have brave? I don't have any fucking brave. Okay. Cool. That's a 5. Prepare
You
for the
approach.
worst. Okay.
You approach Blag. You're like, don't worry, I got you. And you do in fact get the ocelot. But unfortunately, you get the ocelot as it wraps all of its legs around you, and you feel all of its claws embed themselves in your arm.
Oh Jesus Christ! Ah!
Can I try to calm the cat down and release it with using let your conscience be your guide? Using my lots of cat knowledge to tame it?
Absolutely. Let's try it.
Fuck me.
Harry, take 1 harm as well.
Ow.
That'll be a 10
Okay.
to charm a heart into deciding, which I'm trying to get it to decide to calm down.
Okay. So you're basically going, it's just a baby kitty. It's like my baby
It's
kitty's at
okay.
home. I'll do the same.
Just
And you
pet
got
it.
a, what was your score? A 10 or higher?
10. Yeah, I got 7 plus 3.
Okay. So the ocelot sees you approach, and you start sort of like scratching it on the head, talking softly like you do to your cats at home when they seem to get out of control. And the cat seems like it's starting to loosen its claws from your arm, Harry. But it kind of looks over at Piper expectantly, like, I'll be nice to you, but I have to go with you if you want me to cooperate.
I'll take it.
He
I'll take it.
retracts all of its claws and just nicely crawls up your arm to perch on your shoulder now, Piper.
Okay, we got to get rid of that thing. Oh my god. Oh.
My ear.
You just don't know how to deal with cats.
The baby ocelot begins to purr.
She
I'm
always
in
like
cat
this?
heaven.
Sounds like a dog barking, but it's really an ocelot bird. We've added sound effects for our last
You're welcome.
stream. Yeah.
So, Piper, Harry, and Blag, your expectation that dinner has been served in the Wildcat Cafe seems to have not panned out because there is no dinner at the Wildcat Cafe.
After all
In
that
fact,
shit,
it's
there's not
empty.
even any food.
I know. I just wanted a bread bowl. That's all. No soup even. I just wanted the bread bowl.
As you say, no food, Harry, the baby ocelot perks up off of Piper's shoulder and gives you a look like, what do you mean?
I give it some treats.
It just nibbles them very nicely out of your fingers.
At least someone gets food.
I'd
So
offer
what do
you
you
some
do?
treats, but I don't think you'd like them.
I guess, is there anywhere else where else do you think they might have dinner? Is there like a plaza or something somewhere?
You did see all the construction at the front. Maybe they are actually setting up dinner instead of setting up a gate.
I feel like we're
Maybe
on the
they're-
opposite side now.
I
Are
don't
you
know.
eating the cat treats?
They're organic. I made them myself.
All right.
I don't know, honestly.
So do you
This is the best place to go.
stay in the Wildcat Cafe and hope to maybe like raid the kitchen, or do you step out of the Wildcat Cafe to take stock of your surroundings?
I mean, it's not like I'm thinking we need to have rations. I'm just like, after all this bullshit, there's not even any food. So I guess I would just say, well, let's go find dinner. I mean, they said dinner served, so maybe we can smell it in the air. I don't know.
Can I look around to see if I find any first aid kits?
Oh, that's good.
So,
we're pretty beat up.
You want to try to find something that actually, I'll just give it to you. You find a first aid kit against the wall next to the defibrillator. If Gerald were there, he would be slightly disappointed and slightly thrilled that they are taking proper precautions with medical kits.
I will hold on to it, but I'll like bandage up technically, like little band-aids, the spots, but I'm not actually using the medical kit since nobody actually took any harm.
I took a harm.
He took harm.
Oh, did you?
His arm is actually bleeding pretty badly.
I didn't know you really took harm.
Yep, I took legit harm.
Is the medical kit one use?
I'll give you multiple uses from it.
This sounds like a great friendship, by the way. Like, oh, I didn't know you got hurt.
I thought it was just.
The
I
bouncer
thought
got
it was
hurt, and she's like,
superficial.
"That's fine."
Hey, Jeff
okay.
wants you to know that you, with the purple, you look like a young Elton John.
I'll take it. That's wrong, but I'll take it. Can I take the defibrillator with me? Usually those are battery. They got like a battery power, like one charge in them.
This one
I
does.
will heal Harry first using you help them. Yes, you do.
Okay. So roll 2d6 plus wise.
9. So
Nine?
plus
Okay.
or minus 1 harm.
Okay, you guys sit down in the Wildcat Cafe, presumably to help fix up Harry and to just kind of take stock of your situation. She kind of gets a bunch of Neosporin on you, Harry, wraps your arms up in bandages, and you're feeling a bit better. But you are there for a little while, and we cut back to Gerald and Tim. Gerald and Tim, you are sitting in the tunnels. There's the Mother Ocelot looking a little bit dejected still, and you see smaller wildcats approaching you from the tunnel, looking a little excited to see you, but not in the way you would like. What do you do?
How many African golden cats are there?
There are. How many would you like there to be?
0.
Minimum. Ultimately 0, minimum 2. Let's say.
Minimum 2.
Wait.
We'll say 3. There are 3 wildcats, but they're coming. There's a group of 3 in 2 of the tunnels. So so this is what we'll do. There's it's a fork in the road with 3 tunnels. One of them is the route that Piper and Harry and Blag took. There are 3 wildcats coming from there. There's the tunnel with the phone, and the phone seems to have scared them away. So you don't see anything, but you still feel ominous going that way. And there are 3 wildcats coming behind you in the tunnel you just came from.
Okay. Mr. Michelson, we shouldn't go down where the phone is ringing because potentially, I mean, as great as it would be to see and record someone getting mauled, hopefully some of these critters will go that way. Less for us, so they say. And I turn to the 3 cats, and I want to do stop deliberate disobedience on them.
Okay.
And I say, let's see here. Caracal arterata, which is the scientific name for African golden cats. You've just been served. And I pull out more papers.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Idiot.
Roll
That's good.
roll Charm a Heart into deciding with Wicked instead of Sweet.
Jay, you recognize, I don't know, this is weird. The 2 of us have both, when we've played one-shots, I have a greedy knucklehead of a character each time we've played together. That's an 11 total, by the way.
Perfect. Okay.
Oh, God.
That's
Amazing.
Great. They're all getting sued.
That's good.
So they will comply if you do something they want. What was it? African golden cats want?
Yeah. I've been using Google a lot more on this than I normally do.
No complaints here. Let's see. So they see your wad of legal papers. And they kind of look up at it like, I don't really know what that is. And then you see them kind of making sort of like pacing around like they need to use the alert box. So you realize that you could probably just crumple the papers up and toss them away as a quasi litter box, and you might be able to run past.
Ooh. In Mr. De Niro's younger years, when he was less business worthy, he did have some origami practices and killing time, like in classes and everything. He folds a nice, kind of like a dice rolling set box, out of the papers and slides it their way.
Okay. So they kind of look at you, kind of give you a nod. At least you swear it's a nod, but that doesn't make sense. Why would a cat nod at you? And they just trot over to the litter box to do their business. What do you do?
My God, Mr. Michelson, I've never felt more legally alive. Let's run.
Let's go. As we're running away, I shout, "Don't lose those."
You hear a slight growl, meow, echo through behind you. So as you run down the tunnel, you come to a stairwell up, and a door that you can follow back up to the surface of the tunnels. What do you do?
Continue along the tunnel.
Yeah, let's go up there.
Get the heck
Go
out
up
of
the
the
tunnel, okay.
caves.
So you
I
you
was just
continue,
gonna say, is there a way we can bar the path behind us, like going up the walkway? Is there a door or anything? Something we can try to,
So you want to try to block the door, basically, so the wildcats can't follow you.
Yes.
Presumably more sturdy than the solid door that would presumably block wildcats, but I imagine at this point you're starting to get very paranoid. So yeah, let's roll find something there that wasn't there before, which is plus wise.
Tim, do you want?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I was gonna say
Okay.
I can roll that one.
Yeah.
If you would like to roll that, go right ahead. We'll just he's
Uh,
telling you to do it.
It's an 8.
There's an 8. Okay, so it's another hold and ask. So you get one question, and your options are: what happened here? What here is useful? How much time has passed? Which enemy is the biggest threat? Is there something secret or hidden about this? What or who should I be on the lookout for?
What here is useful?
What here is useful? So it looks like they must have used this stairwell to do all of their construction work for what they seem to be insinuating was for dinner, but you're getting increasingly suspicious that there is no dinner. So you see a whole bunch of like rebar and stones and just any like general type of construction stuff sitting there that you could use.
I kind of build a barricade the way that only a white collar worker could. It's probably functional enough, but it doesn't look good for sure.
So Gerald, you look back and your trusty associate Tim seems to have built a wall with some random holes in it that will definitely hold back the cats, but looks very suspiciously kind of. It looks concerning, though you do know that it will hold the cats.
Structurally unsound.
Structurally unsound, and you keep glancing at it like, should those holes be that big? Is that enough? They will be enough. But you are concerned.
I look back and I'm like, dang it, Michelson, this is why they call you the Bloodhound back at the firm. Good find. Obviously, engineering wasn't your first degree, but...
Listen, if anything happens, nobody can prove that we did that. We can pin that on the POC too. This is fine.
I've only got a couple of pictures left, but I pull out my BlackBerry. they have cameras, right? Take one snap of that.
Sure.
Is it the BlackBerry Storm where the whole screen is a single button?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh, it's the Storm, yeah. That's a good
The
one.
Storm then.
The best picture a BlackBerry can take.
Oof.
That device takes over.
That had an amazing camera, let me tell you.
They're
Solid
known for their
352
cameras.
by
right?
240, something like that.
Okay. So do you two continue up the stairwell out into the main park pathway?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you finally climb out of the stairwell and you see that the sun is starting to set into a weird like dusk thing. And that's fine. You expected it being this late, but you eventually turn around just to get a stock of yourself. And something looks suspiciously off. And as you look closer, you realize that the suspiciously off thing is that there is no Sphinx in the skyline of the Egyptian exhibit. What do you do?
I'm gonna I don't totally know how this would apply, but or how I would use this, but I know that I think it would work here. I'm gonna use know what fire is and the word burn to kind of find out why there's no Sphinx there all of a sudden.
I think that is
Kinda seems
perfectly applicable.
Seems like a big thing to be gone.
Yeah. No, I think that's perfectly applicable. So roll 2d6 plus wise.
7.
Okay, so you get to hold 1, and there is a series of questions that I will read once more. Is this what it appears to be? Will this hurt someone? Will this help someone? What is the purpose of this? How can I use this to help my situation? How do I get rid of this?
Well, since it's already gone.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I guess, is this what it appears to be?
You fill a strange like sense of the wild creep into you as you invoke your lifelong love of Uncle Alexander's, and you get this firm understanding that this is exactly as it appears to be. That Sphinx that is normally in the skyline, posing all perfectly and cleanly, is in fact gone, and is likely roaming around the park.
Lovely. They make so much money.
If I had sunglasses and were sitting in a Jeep, I would stand up at this moment, take my sunglasses off, and go, "We're going to make millions."
So, Piper, Harry, and Blag, we cut back to you.
Yes.
You've been in the Wildcat Cafe for a little bit, just patching up Harry so that he doesn't have any harm. And you start to hear some suspiciously familiar voices, Blag, coming from just a little bit out the door down the road. And they seem just generally flabbergasted and shocked. Like, the only time you've ever heard them sound like this, Blag, is when you know that Gerald has been absolutely blindsided by the opposition. What do you do?
I will point over to somewhere that we can hide behind. Be like, come on.
Yeah, that's fine with me. Although I will say he sounds defeated, which is oddly rare because he's a chump, but he wins a lot in court. I'd like to know. Yeah, let's hide and listen and see if they say anything. I guess.
Also look for like some meat or something.
Okay, meat is good. Let's just eat generally meat. That is what we're looking for now.
Yeah, we'll just eat raw meat. Yep.
That's fine.
Well, little Pebbles is hungry, probably.
I don't care about the cat right now.
Name it.
I already named it. But also, it would help keep the other animals away from us if they try to attack. If we throw meat at them.
Oh, so now you think they're gonna attack? Because remember, we don't know that they attack yet. We've only had.
And
a
I
kitten.
say, I think it'd be a good idea to give them treats later when we see more ocelots.
Now I have opposition to that too. I don't think we should be walking around a wild animal preserve with animals just wandering around everywhere carrying raw meat. It just seems like we're asking for trouble.
Is Harry getting worked up as in because like you were getting louder with your pitch?
I
I'm
absolutely
hoping
was. I am just about up to here with this bullshit.
Harry,
I'm gonna turn. I am going to go ahead and turn to Gerald and say, "That sounds like those two people that we were talking to earlier. I wonder if they have seen Blorg."
did you go hide?
Also being like, I don't know, the Sphinx thing is definitely very scary and just so out of this world for Mr. De Niro. These like, if they're in a building, let's go, or if there's a building nearby, let's go in. Like, starting to feel out of his
Sphinxes can't
depth.
fit through doors.
Which, right? Well,
Everybody
it's like,
knows that.
Again, not to fully keep harkening back to Jurassic Park, but when the lawyer runs into the bathroom when the T-Rex is there, like being way out of his field, it's an unusual feeling for him, and much like a dog seeking cover under a desk.
So you, Gerald and Tim, you run into the nearest building. Was that what I'm hearing?
Well, I want to say we heard Harry. Is that like
That works? Yep.
Yeah.
Run towards. Okay, so Gerald and Tim, you run towards the nearest building, which you heard voices coming from that you recognized from earlier in the day, before dinner had been served. Okay, Piper, Harry, and Blag, you hear a sudden crash as the door to the Wildcat Cafe comes open, and Blag, you see your boss and his associate just run through the door in a near panic.
Oh, God, son of a...
Don't shush about that.
So do we?
I'm standing up because I was just so frustrated, and we're right behind the counter, so they probably just came in and saw me. So.
They might not see you if you go down.
Yeah, can we
shove you
see
down.
all of them, or can we only see Harry right now?
Well, is anybody trying to hide when they hear the door crash?
I am for sure. I'm at least trying under my briefcase to see if that
Okay,
will hide
so-
from anybody.
I'm going to say you're trying to go the distance. It's a physical feat to hide, and the naming is nice and thematic. So roll 2d6 plus stout.
He's going the distance. He's rolling for speed.
What do we got? Oh, it's a -1. So 8. 8.
Okay. Oh, geez, these options. Okay, so you succeed. You, in fact, get under your briefcase or a table or wherever you feel like hiding. But you seem to have been in a near panic hurry yourself, because one of these happens. You personally take 1 harm. You cause somebody else to take 1 harm. They have to be near you, so I'm going to say either Harry or Piper will take 1 harm. And you avoid harm, but you stumble, and you're going to take -2 forward to your next roll.
I'll take 1 harm.
Okay.
Like bash your head.
Yeah, so tell me what happened.
On the counter.
There's also a gun in there, so who knows? It's a very heavy brief. So
How much harm can you take until you're like dead?
yeah, that's a good
3.
question.
3 harm gets
Oh,
you
yeah.
incapacitated or killed. Shock is the mental version of harm. 3 shock means you're insane.
Oh, fun.
Okay,
Oh,
good.
just the way he likes it. All right.
I'm
Jay,
looking
what
for
was-
So
I was just
I'm
gonna
just
say,
looking
what
for
was-
meat while they're fighting.
okay, so I will double back to that in a second, because I'm gonna have you roll for that. Gerald and Tim, you barge through the Wildcat Cafe door in a blind panic, and you do in fact see Harry sitting where he is, obvious blood around him. You see Piper kind of heading towards the kitchen to the Wildcat Cafe, scrounging for something, and Blag
cat
is
on her
conspicuously
shoulder.
absent. Yes, with the cat on her shoulder, the baby ocelot. And Blag seems conspicuously absent, which is unfortunate because he is the one you were looking for. What do you do?
I walk up and I say, Henry, super glad to see you.
It's Harry.
Okay. Anyway, you knew I was talking to you. So, have you seen the guy that we came with? Kinda, smart guy, a little impatient, kinda rude, but great hard worker. We're looking for him. Some crazy stuff is happening. You're not gonna believe. We gotta find him. Have we seen him?
I see the blood around, and my with the Sphinx moving, the cat tack, I start to slip on my decorum a little bit, and I'm like, "Those fierce felines got black," and I break down a little bit on Mr. Michelson's shoulder. He was a
Blag.
he's-
That's what happened. Yep. Blag got all et up.
He was
Hey,
a
Blag,
piece
from your
of-
hiding.
Oh,
Yeah, Blag, from your hiding space. They still have not seen you, but you're hearing all of this. Do you do
Right.
anything?
I mean, while I have just 1/3 murdered myself with my own briefcase, I do suddenly feel a tinge of humanity as my boss, my crappy boss, seems to actually care. And I slowly do.
He
peek out
doesn't.
from under my
It's a trap.
briefcase. Just a little bit. I don't know.
Are you
if they
peeking
see
out?
me.
I was gonna say, are you peeking out? Are you trying to get seen, or are you?
I am trying to
see what's
see.
happening.
I want to see if this is some BS. Because to be fair, they've done this kind of thing before. I'm willing to risk being seen, but I do want to
Okay.
see if this is.
So
legit.
you're trying to get a better look at what's happening to determine if your boss is telling the truth or if he's lying. Does that sound accurate? Okay,
Yes.
can I get you to roll dig a little deeper?
Okay.
But we're actually going to roll plus Powell on this case, so you're going to get a 1 modifier.
the dead prostitute trick on the yacht weekend we had. You're pretty cautious.
I rolled an 8, so
You rolled an 8?
Yeah.
Okay, so player to player, not character to character, you can ask Josh one of these questions and he'll answer in character. Are you telling the truth? What are you really feeling? What do you intend to do? What do you wish I'd do? What do you not want me to know? How could I get you to do fill in the blank?
All right, I'll be straightforward. What are you really feeling?
On Tim's shoulder. I cry. He was a piece of garbage, but he made the firm lots of money.
That's about what I thought. Wow.
Back into hiding.
Yeah, I slowly lower myself again in the hopes.
Okay, so I'm gonna cut to Piper now. Piper, you're digging through the kitchen trying to find some meat or other kind of food, right?
Yep.
Some raw meat.
Okay. Your ocelot baby is sounding a little hungry. You hear what sounds like a little tummy growl. So this is also just pretty good choice. So we're gonna have you roll. Find something there that wasn't there before. So could you roll 2d6 and add wise?
Hell yeah. 14 again.
Okay. Your dice are crazy.
I got an 11 again.
Okay, so hold 2. Set of questions. What happened here? What here is useful? How much time has passed? Which enemy is the biggest threat? Is there something secret or hidden about this? What or who should I be on the lookout for? If you're looking for food or something, what here is useful? Probably be the best one.
I'm going to do what here is useful. I get 2.
Yes.
And there was one that was a threat. Look for that one too.
Okay. So I'm going to start with what here is useful and give you the chance to change it up if you want after that. So you look around the kitchen and it looks like everything's fully stocked. The Wildcat Cafe is basically prepped and ready to open the next morning as if nothing happened tonight, which is unusual. But if everybody gets eaten, that would certainly explain why nobody seems to know what happens to the Wildcat Romp. You find pretty much everything you'd expect to find at the cafe. So hamburger patties, bacon. They have a famous steak dinner, so you find a whole bunch of defrosting steaks within the fridge, fruits, veggies. They do, in fact, have some knives and other general kitchen utensils that you might find useful at some point in time. Pretty much, it's a fully stocked kitchen. Anything you'd expect to find in a kitchen, you could reasonably find here.
Can I take 2 things or just one?
You can take as much as you want. Well,
I'll take a knife.
within same limit.
And I want to take a bag full of steaks.
Perfect.
And I'm going
to. I followed her in there because that's what I'm here for. I'm like, are you really now stealing from the park? Not just their food, but you're stealing their freaking cutlery?
Pebbles is hungry.
You're leaving the knife here, though, right? You're not ganking that, are you?
No.
Okay.
I'll leave it before we leave the park. I'm not going to take it home with me. I'm taking Pebbles home with me, but I'm going to take the knife home with me.
Neither of those things are happening. You can't just walk around a theme park carrying a knife.
I won't carry it on me. I put it in, I wrap it up in a towel and I put it in my bag.
Why do you...
Harry, you are suddenly reminded that you have a massive pocket knife in your backpack.
Yeah, but that's a pocket knife. That's different from stealing a kitchen
paid
knife.
for
I
this
don't
with
know
his
that.
money.
I don't know that the animals are trying to eat us yet. As
Look,
far as
the
I know,
lawyers are
everything is still
chasing
status
us.
quo. We're just trying to find where dinner is.
The lawyers have been chasing us, and I'm concerned about the lawyers. I
You're
just want to have
gonna
a
murder them?
No,
They're
I
just
just want to have a
lawyers.
self-defense mechanism.
I'm pretty sure you kill one, the other two are gonna kill your bank account.
I don't have any money in there, so that's fine.
I
My books aren't selling as well as they used to.
fair
I
enough.
spend all the money going to theme parks, so
I have, honestly. I bought annual passes for like 10 years, and it's racing in prices. It's weird.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
for Harry's sake, I did yell about the cats, and
I don't know what you guys have been through. You guys are just nutter butters, okay?
Look, I'm taking it for my safety, and also to cut up the steak so I can feed it to Pebbles.
it's Wenscotch and Buttersworth firm, not Nutter Butters. They are a fierce rival firm. Yeah.
You keep that name out of your mouth.
Yeah, but don't let anyone who runs the park see you carrying that, because I feel like that's gonna just be trouble, and I don't want to start any trouble. Right now, everything has been going pretty smoothly, other than just trying to get off the tails of these really annoying lawyers.
I feel like I should tell you both that I do have a gun in my briefcase.
Oh my god, where'd you show up from?
Yeah, where'd you come from?
Thought you
Oh,
were
I'm
hiding.
sorry. Was I not here? I was hiding. That's right. Never mind. That's
Mr. Jeffy, is that you?
communicating telepathically. Maybe I stepped away and forgot something. Disregard. That was not me.
So
I just
Gerald
got-
and Tim,
Sorry.
Gerald and Tim, you're standing in the middle of the Wildcat Cafe. Piper was standing at the entrance to the kitchen, and she just kind of walks in there, like blissfully, like uncaring about your presence. You see Harry look between you and look between the kitchen in like a small panic, like what? And he eventually files away, following Piper into the kitchen, and you hear some bickering about a knife. And you've been left alone, as far as you're aware, within the Wildcat Cafe. What do? And add the cherry on top, you hear babbled things like murder and lawyer coming out of the kitchen.
I'm not a quiet man.
Blag, while they're deciding, do you choose to do anything, or are you happy to just remain hidden?
So there.
Can he hear everything, or can he only hear the garbled stuff too?
So I was
I can-
imagining him jumping behind the counter and hiding behind the counter, in which case he'd be able to hear both full sets of conversations.
Sure. I mean, I feel like I should try and sneak off and join my new quote unquote friends who probably do not want me around, but I'm gonna try and get past them, and if I'm seen, I'm seen, I guess, because what are you gonna do? But I'm gonna try and get in there with those two people.
So you were trying to sneak through the like entry general like front end style area, not being seen by Gerald and Tim, to make it into the kitchen to
Correct.
join the conversation about murdering lawyers.
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
That's my favorite topic.
So that thing I whispered to myself earlier, hoping they would hear it, they'd actually hear this time. That's
Exactly.
what I'm hoping.
Makes sense. So I'm gonna go again with go the distance. Add your stout.
Okay.
In player to player mode, I am worried this is like a Resident Evil situation where like the big boss is just like wandering the park, right? And we're dinking around. Getting raw meat. It's gonna bust in here. Like, I'm so worried.
Yeah, because only two of you know the Sphinx is missing.
Right.
Yeah, right. And that's an 8.
That is an 8. Okay. Well, that's the same thing. You managed to sneak through the kitchen, or sneak through the front end area into the kitchen. You are not seen. I imagine the panic from Gerald and Tim is still going strong, so they're just ignorant of your sneaking, and must be doubly ignorant because you also managed to hurt yourself again, hurt Harry or Piper again,
Damn it,
or you
Jimmy.
stumble.
Uh-huh.
So tell me how that happens.
So wait, the stumbling. What does the stumbling do again? Oh god.
You take -2 forwards, which means the next roll you make, you'll -2.
Fine. I will stumble because I've slipped on some raw meat that's on the floor,
And your own blood from your forehead.
and of course a bit of my own blood. This is terrible.
So Harry and Piper, you see Blag just stumble through the kitchen door, slipping on a raw steak that you just now realized your baby ocelot friend had snuck out of your bag, Piper, and his own blood. Surprisingly, his two lawyer friends do not see him enter, which is very surprising because there is a lot of noise. But he makes it in, looking a little bit worse for the wear. Do you guys do
James,
anything?
what happened to your head?
This is a very heavy case because you see I have a pistol in it, and
What?
I dropped
oh my
it on
God.
my head.
She's got a fucking knife. You've got a fucking gun.
You
Harry.
need to keep
You
it
have a
down.
knife.
Deep breaths.
Player to
Deep
player.
breaths. Remember what the doctor said? He said to take a deep breath in. Deep breath
In
out.
through your nose, out through your mouth.
He doesn't
here, let me
believe
patch up
me
the-
about you.
I don't know why. Let me patch up your head, and I'm going to try to roll medicine again.
Okay.
Or you help them. Yes, you do.
I'm lucky I didn't shock myself with this defibrillator that I stole off the wall. Frankly.
So it does take a little while to use the medical kit to restore harm, like roughly in the half hour to an hour category range. So you're going to be in there for a while.
Well,
Do you
It's a
want to
lot
do
of
that?
Band-Aids.
I can make it with a bloody head. I've done it before.
Well, can I maintain my roll for going forward when you do it? Because I rolled well.
Sure.
I rolled a 12.
Holy crap.
Is that your worst roll of the night so far?
I'm
okay,
not cheating,
so-
I promise. These dice just really like me.
Oh, I believe you. No worries. Gerald and Tim, you keep on hearing a lot of crashing coming out of the kitchen, and things start to get a little bit suspicious. Would you like to be suspicious and possibly have one of you two roll find something there that wasn't there before, which is modified by Wise?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, so tell me how you get suspicious and what you think might be happening, and then go ahead and roll.
So I'm hearing a lot of shouting coming from the kitchen, but only from one person, and so I'm kind of curious if that person is in trouble or if possibly somebody is about to get hurt, in which case I smell a case. So I want to check it out.
Good man.
Okay, roll 2d6 and add your Wise.
All right, that's 10.
Okay, so you hold 2, and the questions are, what happened here? What here is useful? How much time has passed? Which enemy is the biggest threat? Is there something secret or hidden about this? What or who should I be on the lookout for?
I think, is there something secret or hidden about this?
Oh, well, so there is in fact something secret or hidden about this. As you look around, you realize, and just kind of listen to what's happening in the kitchen, you realize that for the 2 people you saw, Harry and Piper, there seems to be 3 distinct voices coming from the kitchen.
I definitely want to go into the kitchen then.
Okay.
Before I see Tim start to move that way, and I go, quick, I get a little bit of my decorum back. I'm like, Mr. Michelson, Pontypool style, whoever gets murdered out of this gets to pursue the offending party legally.
Oh, of course, by all means, and I expect, should I die, I expect you to bring down the full arm of the firm of Wenscotch and Buttersworth down on them.
I will wring every penny out of them, good friend.
Do me proud. With
And I
a
join
kind of
him.
a new, like, overly sense of confidence just from that. If something bad happens, I'm certain that something bad will happen to whoever does it to me. I go through the doors.
Okay, so Blag, you hear their commentary about Wentworth and Wentscotch and Buttersworth as they try to head towards the kitchen. Do you try to hide once more, or is just the jig up?
This time I have an idea, and I do not try and hide. Like a
Okay.
light.
What do you do?
Oh, I wait. I wait for them to walk in the room.
I pick up
They
pebbles.
walk in the room. Gerald and Tim, you walk through the kitchen door, and there is Blag just standing in the middle of the kitchen, facing Harry and Piper. He looks a little bit worse for the wear. You can't quite tell if he hurt himself or just had another bender like he's prone to, but he does look worse for the wear. What do you do?
I feel like I would be happy, but based off of your initial reaction, I feel like Gerald would be even happier from his initial reaction to thinking that he was dead.
Yeah.
So I'm happy, but
I think that I would be disappointed thinking that Mr. Jaffney's on another bender, but also freaking out seeing the baby ocelot. I think that would take, for our experiences, I feel like there's a quick deal of processes. Blag can quickly see a look of severe disapproval cross Mr. De Niro's face, but then his face goes extremely pale seeing the baby ocelot, and he's just kind of like pointing at the kitten.
So Gerald,
feeding it.
when you see the baby ocelot on Piper's shoulder, do you feel like you're facing danger with courage, perhaps?
I feel like I'm facing danger, but maybe not with courage.
I think it still applies. Could you roll Be
Okay.
Bold and Daring and add your Brave?
Okay. Six.
6.
Oh,
Okay. Prepare for the worst. So Gerald,
we
you
could
kind
use
of
some more
walk
rerolls,
in.
guys.
They could use rerolls or some mercy. You still vote for them to have good things happen.
Yeah.
Could make my life easier and vote for bad things to happen. Donations are still open. So you need to prepare for the worst, Gerald. You look in, you step in, you see Blag. You're momentarily elated. You're momentarily concerned that he may have found something to go on a bender with at the park. Part of you wouldn't necessarily blame him given the events, but it is still wildly unprofessional for a member of your firm. And then you look up and you see the baby ocelot on Piper's shoulder, and your face just drains of color. You're like, oh no, they're here too. Piper, you're very surprised what happens next because the ocelot leaps off your shoulder, claws extended, straight at Gerald's face. What do you do?
Rebels, no!
I want to try to intercept and kind of just bat the ocelot away.
No!
'Cause I do know how bad
No!
those claws are.
Okay, so let's see. I'm going to call this a physical feat, so could you roll Go the Distance, which is stout?
I will take advantage of my make what is inside of you count.
Ooh,
Get a
Perfect.
+2 additional to the go the distance.
make those insides count.
So how do you find your inner hero? Is it just the act of saving him?
Yeah,
Or is it the act of being right?
It's the act of being right. Like I fucking knew it, and I've felt those claws, and I'm like, no, not again.
Okay.
Well, that dice gone. All right, get a different one.
Yeah, you have like 30.
I know. That is an 8 plus 3, which is 11, plus 2, which is a 13.
Perfect. So you you just succeed. How about you tell me what you do?
So everything kind of goes slow motion once he launches off her shoulder, and I'm just like, I see him jump, and I'm like, oh crap, he looks like he's pouncing, and then I see that his claws are out, and I just, I've had to help Pipes so many times for so many different wild animals. She's tried to pet freaking raccoons and stuff, even a badger once, and so this is almost like an instinctual thing at this point, and I just kind of go up, and I'm not like trying to grab him or anything. I'm just trying to deflect him, so I just kind of stick my arm out to kind of just make him slide down my arm and shoot off to the side so he goes past him.
The only animal I regret is the skunk.
Smelled for days, I bet. It's a good thing you write home. Okay, so that exactly as you say, it just happens. You step forward, the baby ocelot, it grabs onto your arm. You manage to catch it just right so that it just slides down your arm effortlessly like it's a slide, and it just gets launched off into the, we'll just say the freezer of the kitchen. Gerald, you're staring on in awestruck horror as you realize that, as far as you're aware, Harry has just saved your life. What do you do?
Can I slam the freezer door?
You can slam the freezer door, by all means.
Yeah. Like, don't worry, Harry. I got something for you, but there's something at hand I need to deal with. So, would that be going the distance?
Oh, you just want to slam the freezer door? I was just going to give it to you. You slam the freezer
Okay, yeah, I just want to close him in there. I go up to Harry. I'm like, Mr. Harry, thank you. Thank you. These attractions are turning out much more unwieldy than I thought. And I give him a handful of my cards. And I'm like, I see you've been wounded here as well. We will make sure you are represented with the utmost quality people. Myself being first and foremost.
I put the cards in my pocket because, frankly, yeah.
Can I go into the freezer?
Yeah, by all means.
I'm gonna try to calm down the ocelot and pick it up again.
What are you doing? Don't open the door. Didn't you see he tried to scratch up Mr. Dinero here?
Cats know when people are evil. Lawyers are evil.
So you're gonna let conscience be your guide once again, or do you have something else in mind?
No, that one.
We have a sphinx to worry about, but the baby ocelot is continuing
Again,
to be our
12.
issue.
We know nothing about this.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I was just saying, is this you in character blabbing out about there's a sphinx, or
No, not at all. Because I'm still awestruck. Like they could have moved the sphinx. You know, they have construction equipment. I'm trying to explain it away.
Yeah.
But like, I'm just saying, as a player, we're struggling
I don't know
with
those
this
things.
critter.
I got a
so you got a 12. Okay. Let's see. Turn my heart into deciding. There it is. You got a 12.
Pebbles, you can't eat people. You can't attack people. Here, have some more steak, and I.
It's like your cat mind reader. All he wanted was more steak to calm down and perch back on your shoulder.
I take him back calmly, and I hold on to him very tightly.
Just got my hand
You
on my
scared
head,
him.
and I'm like,
You scared Pebbles. Apologize.
So I kind of interrupt all of this goings on. There's a lot to take in.
a lot just happened.
My associate almost got mauled, as well as this guy who clearly does not like me saved him, which I'm happy about. I can also see that he's injured, and so like you said, we're very excited about that. But so I kind of bring all this, kind of get back down, and I'm like, Blag, I'm very happy to finally see you again. We've been looking everywhere for you. Listen, I gotta tell you, something is happening. Young lady, do you know where the Sphinx is supposed to be?
Right outside.
Yeah.
It ain't. Is that normal?
Is that normal?
That's impossible. No, what? No, it's always there. It doesn't move. It's not an attraction. It's this giant statue.
I don't know.
I thought the
I've been
same
here.
thing, but what I am telling you is there ain't no Sphinx there no more.
How big
Are
is
you
that?
drunk?
Side eyeing the ocelot with Miss Piper. I'm like, it's true. They could have moved it for some construction project, but that seems improbable.
Is it
Piper.
a
Sphinx was
big
put there.
Sphinx? Is it a small? I've never been here before, so I don't even know.
It's as big as the building.
What?
Yeah, it's a 1-to-1.
Hey, Piper.
Very large.
Huh.
As you're saying this, you glance towards the window just to get a sense of what's out there, and your normal picturesque view from the Wildcat Cafe seems to be blocked, and it seems to be blocked by a giant stone eye that is just right outside.
I found the
What do you
Sphinx.
do?
I find the Sphinx, and then I quickly go, okay, we got it. We probably should leave. That's not normal. And I'm gonna try to find the closest way to escape.
Is it evident that it's like not just like the statue is like its head is there, like it looks like its eyes are moving?
Well, how about let's find out. So you are trying
Okay.
to dig a little deeper. It sounds like.
Yes.
Could you roll plus wise?
Sure, I can certainly try. Well, that's a good old 5.
It's a good old 5. Okay, well, so the good news is you are going to get it answered. Because as you stare at the eye, trying to figure out if it's real or not, the eye seems to disappear, and a massive stone foot crunches down on the front of the building, conspicuously leaving you all intact. The Sphinx leans his head down, stares at you all, glances sideways to you, the lawyer, Gerald, and he goes, I have a riddle.
Oh shit. I look around. Is there a back exit to this place?
So you are looking for a back exit specifically. Let me let's see. So you are trying to find something there that wasn't there before. Would you like to roll 2d6 and wise again?
God damn it.
I was trying to do the find a second star to the right one.
That would probably be the better one for you guys to use collectively if you wanted to roll plus wise.
Oh, right.
I'm awestruck by this. I'm going to play this riddle game.
So
You guys can
are we having
bail,
her roll
but
instead of me? Is that what's happening?
What did I ask you to roll? Well, so if you want to roll, you can roll, but I think as a group, it makes more sense for find the second star to the right.
Yeah.
I got a
Maybe-
10.
Maybe she sees me looking around like.
Yeah, she sees you looking around, and she just kind of taps into her innate knowledge of Mouse Park to try to kind of like preempt you to a nice solution for it. You rolled a 10?
Yeah, but we can wait till after the riddle.
Okay.
For my part.
Well,
I thought I was going to try to get the fuck out of there before the riddle.
Well, we'll
I'm not
leave
here for
during
it.
the riddle, but we'll like.
so what are you trying to do? Are you trying to get away before the riddle, or is there a part of you that's really curious to see how the riddle goes?
I am.
Well, I want the best way to escape because that's not supposed to happen.
Okay, so we'll resolve that hold for you. What is the best way to escape? You'll hold a second one, which you can use after I tell you the best way to escape when I'll resolve the riddle. So that makes sense. Yeah. So what is the best way to escape? You look around the kitchen, and the kitchen isn't there anymore, really. It's just the little intro from the front end area that you came in. You still have your knife. You still have all of the stuff you might need from there. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, my laptop's doing something weird, but I'm just going to go with it.
cliffhanger.
So, you guys all, you look around the kitchen, figure out what's going on, and the kitchen isn't there, but you do find a surprisingly nice and hidden just service exit that leads out the front door you could use to escape.
I point to the service exit secretly to Harry,
Okay.
and then I tap. God damn it, Blag.
Sorry.
And I like point and nudge towards the door.
Okay. So you nudge towards the door, and you kind of get the sense, you three, of the plan is there as the Sphinx sort of looks over at Gerald. His mouth moves very slightly in what you think is probably a grin. That leaves you concerned as well. And he's like, well, we're going to go with the classics, Mr. Likely philosophy-trained lawyer. What walks on 4 legs in the morning, 2 legs in the afternoon, and 3 legs in the evening?
No.
Oh man, I don't know that one.
I will say, reaction-wise, referring back to Jurassic Park again, it's like when the T-Rex knocks the bathroom down and the lawyer's caught very literally with his pants down. I still have my pants on, but I'm like, through all the destruction. Could you repeat that one more time?
Absolutely, Mr. Lawyer. What walks on 4 legs in the morning, 2 legs in the afternoon, and 3 legs in the evening?
The answer is men.
I'm sorry, Mr. Lawyer. That answer is incorrect. The correct answer is dinner. And he opens his mouth wide, trying to lunge at you and eat you whole.
Okay.
Shit.
Stop.
What do you do?
Stop deliberate disobedience.
I'm just running.
Oh, I think I know what's going to happen if you succeed, and I really want you to.
So you tell me how you're going to change his mind firmly and with authority.
Well, one, I am going to yell, a baby crawls on all 4s. Person in their middle life walks on 2, and an old person walks with a cane. And then what kind of Sphinx is this? I'll just say Sphinx Junior.
Roll Charm a Heart into deciding, but with a wicked.
Uh, 8. You've just been served.
Yeah, the Sphinx looks taken.
I don't have papers for that.
I was
That's
going to
just-
ask, yeah.
Yeah, no, I was not expecting this one. but it is how I've
So
gotten
you
out many a
expected the cats
situation.
in the tunnels and made sure you had documentation, but the Sphinx was just one step too far.
Yeah.
So you address the Sphinx, and the Sphinx sort of he backs off, like he's surprised that you decided to complete the formal riddle instead of getting eaten or possibly run, like he's used to his prey doing. And he looks at you, and he's like, "Well, what do you want? Like, you're supposed to be my dinner. Why are you telling me this right now? Do you want me to let you go? Because that's not gonna happen."
Another riddle, I say. I'm starting to turn into the monarch. We have James Urbaniak on here now.
I'll be your wife. I'll be Doctor Mrs. the Monarch.
Another riddle.
So you want to have a riddle challenge with me? Is that it?
Ask him what he's got in his pockets. Ask him what he's got in his pockets.
So Piper, Harry, Tim, and Blag, you're standing back. Harry and Piper, you're up.
Piper already booked it.
Yeah, she did run.
So
and I think
Harry,
I'm going to
Piper
now follow suit.
Same.
That is exactly what I was going to ask. Blag and Tim, you're watching your boss decide to challenge the literal Sphinx to a riddle off. Do you hang around to see what happens, or do you follow the fleeing pair?
I'm out. I am reaching into my briefcase for my pistol just in case.
That's an excellent idea. You know, can I try to grab a knife on my way out?
You yell at me for grabbing a knife, and here you are grabbing a knife.
Yeah, I
That's
know.
too
I'm a
late.
hypocrite.
Let's see. So I'm going to say that grabbing a knife in a frenzy as you try to leave is going to constitute some degree of a physical feat. So could you go the distance? Roll plus stout.
I would love to with my additional +2.
Perfect. You're going to be the hero here?
Yeah. 9 plus my stout of 3 is 12. Plus 2 is 14.
Okay.
All right.
So you manage to dash by and you pull out. You just kind of nicely finesse your arm into the knife block they keep at the edge for all the chefs. And you pull
I
out
actually jump and slide across the table and grab it on my way through.
Even better. Manage to slide out the sharpest, wickedest looking chef's knife right as you slide by, doing the comic book esque just dash slide.
And I do hold it, like this, right? Because I'm not accidentally stabbing someone.
Sure.
Perfect.
That's nice. Safety first. Safety first.
Exactly.
You have to yell door
There's a
though, when
line
you
cook
open
for a little
doors.
while, so
Yell door whenever the door opens.
Door opens. Piper, Harry, you dash out. It sounds like Blag is following. Tim, are you following as well, or does your loyalty extend past Sphinxes?
I'm going to stay just to kind of pay back for saving me from those ocelots that were definitely going to get me in the tunnel. And I'm going to use know what fire is in the word burn while this riddle off is going on to kind of try to size up the Sphinx and see if there's any kind of weaknesses that I can ascertain to get out of this situation.
Okay. So I'm gonna cut back to that in just 1 second. As all of this is happening, Tim, you notably take a small step towards Gerald as if going, "This is my boss. I owe him my loyalty." And the Sphinx seems to pick up on this. So the Sphinx leans his head down. He glances to you as well, and he goes, "A riddle off. Now that is not a challenge I have been dealt for a long, long time, not since Aristotle himself. But I will give you a handicap. Each of you may ask me a riddle, and if I incorrectly answer one of them, you win." So, Tim, you are going to use know what fire is and the word burn to figure out the hidden powers and look for the truth and what is going on. Roll 2d6 and add wise.
It's a 9.
So you get to hold 1 and ask a question, of which your options are as follows. Is this what it appears to be? Will this hurt someone? Will this help someone? What is the purpose of this? How can I use this to help my situation? How do I get rid of this?
How do I get rid of this?
That's exactly where my mind went.
All right. So, well, the easiest way to get rid of the Sphinx would be to win the riddle off. More player to player at this point. What I would likely have you do is have one of you roll help a friend get unstuck, which would generate a modifier that the other would use for, I'm going to say, charm a heart into deciding to see if you can do a riddle that the other Sphinx can't beat. And we'll go from there.
Does it have to be charm of heart, or can I use my wicked stat one?
If you can think of a somewhat malicious riddle, like what is in my pocket, I will absolutely allow you to do that.
Okay.
Comes the Google.
Yeah.
I've also
You don't actually have to tell me the riddle. I'll take your word for it.
I have a very basic that's like kind of, it would fit in the legal world, I feel like, almost.
Perfect. I'm not going to hold you to your riddle presentation. I'm just going to go off what makes narrative sense with the rules. Alternatively, if Tim, you'll realize that if you don't particularly want to deal with the riddle off, you could probably try to convince Gerald to run away with you. And if you dashed back into the tunnels with the wildcats and the ocelot, there is the catwalk you see above you that likely leads back into them. And sphinxes don't fit in underground tunnels.
So I don't think I would do that because I know that I do not have the physical ability to pull that off. So I would be relying entirely on the dice roll being high enough. I know that I also have find out what all this is, which I think would apply to this situation if I were to go with the riddle off.
I would absolutely count that, yeah.
Okay, I do see Tim saddling up beside me, and in the best way I could emotionally identify with someone, I'm like, but Tim, think of the paperwork.
That's why we're gonna find Blag after this is all done. You and me together.
So you choose to do the riddle off. So you can do the PAL one I talked about, or you could do find out what all this is, just like you said. Basically, pull out your phone and go, riddle sphinxes don't know. And we'd go from there based off the result. So tell me what you do.
I think I'm going to go with find out what all this is. I only need to roll a 7 on that, so I'm feeling pretty good.
Okay.
All right. I rolled a 5.
So roll plus wise. You rolled a 5. Does that count your wise or not?
That's with wise.
Oh, okay. So this is fantastic because on a 6 or less, you reach an objectively incorrect conclusion or are more confused than you started.
Oh my God.
So Gerald, Tim comes over and he's like, "Look, boss, look. I googled riddles sphinxes don't know, and I came up with this fantastic riddle. We've got to ask it. We've got to." And he seems very intent that this is absolutely the riddle that's going to work. You're not so certain given the whole boss status here. So let's see. We're gonna say. Well, we'll just roleplay this out for a bit. So he tells you the riddle, and you look at him like, I literally heard this riddle as part of my legal training, and this sphinx might be legally trained. Are you sure? So let's go from there. What do you do?
Tim, as your boss, you've got to trust me on some things like this, and I, don't really trust you.
I do trust you, but also I do want you to know I am a little bit offended that you don't trust me on this one. I looked it up.
Do you just use Google for all our cases?
Do we win most of our cases?
Yes.
Then you don't gotta worry.
I Google things.
I am all about results, not methods.
So Tim, your boss is giving a little pushback to this fantastic riddle you know you just Googled and you know will beat the Sphinx. Do you accept that he is the boss and he likely knows right, or do you try to press him on it and really convince him that this is the riddle that will absolutely work?
No, like I said, I trust him. I am like it's definitely like hurting my pride. I'm not happy about it, but since he did like knock that first riddle out of the park and kept us from getting eaten, I'm gonna go with him.
Okay, so Gerald, you now have to come up with a riddle off the top of your head, which I'll just let you do however you want. The catch here is you're not going to get any kind of modifier from Tim's roll. It's just going to be whatever you roll on Charm of Heart and Deciding or whatever other move you can narratively justify. So what do you do?
So, Charm of Heart, I guess. I was hoping to use my Wicked on that, but I'm willing to, roll against the odds on this.
Well, so if you want to... So stop deliberate disobedience. If you basically want to go, I'm the lawyer, I know the riddles, this is my authority, I'll let you roll Wicked. That makes sense.
Cool. Yeah. So I shout out, what month of the year has 28 days in it? And that's a 9.
Okay. Let's see. So he's gonna wing it off this. So the Sphinx looks at you and he's like, what day of the month? He looks at the sky and he's like, maybe I shouldn't have slept through the Julian to Gregorian calendar flip. Or maybe they use a different calendar. Is that even what they use anymore? Did we swap to something else? And you seem to realize you're stumping him because he's clearly lost in thought. But you're not so sure he's not going to get the answer after he figures out what year it actually is. Do you sit around and let him decide, or do you run away as well? What do you do?
Well, I was really hoping we could stump the... Mr. Michelson, my dear chap, I was really hoping we could stump this big stone monster, but I think we should bail.
Well, I mean, you're the riddle expert, clearly, so if you don't have confidence, let's go.
So you run away. Do you follow them out the service door, or do you go a different direction?
I would follow the group at this point, like just strengthen numbers.
Okay. So you guys dart out the service door, and the Sphinx is lost in thought for a few seconds before it glances down to try to have it and realizes that its mill is no longer there. You hear a very angry, stony roar come from behind you, and Tim and Gerald, you glance up to see this massive stone behemoth leap over your heads. Piper, Harry, and Blag, you see the same sight as the Sphinx lands right in front of you, turns at you, roars, and go, the dinner who flees is the best, get back here, and it swipes at you.
Oh, shit.
What do you do?
At us?
At you, yes.
Well, that's
For-
rude.
For the viewers, it's all of them. Anyone with deadlines knows that.
Oh boy. Okay.
Hold on.
Winnie gave us 2 more rerolls. We may
Oh,
need them.
Winnie, thank you.
Can I attempt to convince the Sphinx?
His paw's in
that...
motion right now is what you're saying?
Are you going to cat charm him too?
His paw is in fact in motion, but
Damn
tell
it.
me what you want to do.
Do you still have pebbles? Throw pebbles
do.
at him.
No!
I personally would try to shove her out of the path of the paw.
So,
Don't
Piper,
I'm a
sacrifice
pusher.
yourself.
I'm a pusher.
Piper, you it sounded like you were about to ask if you could try to tame the Sphinx, just like you tamed the baby ocelot. Was that the path you were going there?
Yeah, that's the path I was gonna go.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
Fucking
pretty
knew
sure
she
it's
was gonna get
intelligent.
eaten. I just thought it would be a lion, not a lion-faced man. Or a man-faced lion, whatever.
So, let's see. I'm actually going to let you roll for that on the grounds that your baby ocelot is vouching for you to the Sphinx. But first, the paw is still coming towards you. So, Harry, Let's see. We're gonna say you're being bold and daring, trying to save Piper from the paw. Could you
Yeah,
roll
that's
plus
pretty much
brave?
all I got. Why I'm here.
Someone asked if it's wrong to ship Harry and Pipes. I don't think I've ever made a character that's been shipped before.
Well, good thing that I am being a hero. So that's a 5 plus 3, which is 8, plus 2, which is 10.
Perfect. Okay, so you keep calm and do what you need to do. So tell me how this goes down.
Again, just as often happens, everything kind of goes in slow-mo in this, like, crazy period of time. And I can see that Pipes is, like, right in the path of the paw. Like, she's getting the full brunt of it. And so I run, and I, like, kind of jump and, like, grab her and roll away from the paw.
You do it. It's a very close thing. You hear the stone paw just whip the air back and forth atop your head. And it does not feel pleasant. But you manage to grab her, throw her out of the way, and you do a perfect parkour-style roll as you touch the ground, landing on your feet.
Nice.
Piper, you have just been pushed out of the way from the giant
I did
paw.
the high-rise construction work.
Yes. So Piper, you've just been pushed out of the way from the paw, and you realize. So one part of you realizes that he just saved your life, and the other part of you realizes that he just knocked your baby ocelot off. But your baby ocelot's fine. You don't need to worry too much about that. And your baby ocelot seems to be inching closer to the Sphinx, and you get curious. Do you still try to talk down the Sphinx, or what do you do?
I'm going to pick up the ocelot and try to talk to the Sphinx. Yes. It's like, look, clearly this little baby has trusted me, and I think that you should trust me too. We are not your enemy. We are not your dinner. There are plenty of other
doing
people
this right now.
Yes, there are plenty of people who could be your dinner, and it's not us. I love cats. I would never hurt you. I saved him.
Okay.
Also, I have
so
steaks. Do you want a steak?
He
said
did want to
steak.
eat dinner, he said.
Yeah. You said steak, correct? I've heard
Yes.
snake for some reason. Okay.
I pull out a bag of steaks.
For a second, I was imagining you throwing like a cobra at the Sphinx and hoping it would work. This makes a lot more sense.
If it,
That was
if
the
it's a Sphinx,
lemur
it should be an
thing
asp,
yesterday.
right?
Oh. Okay, so you roll. Let your conscience be your guide. So roll trauma, heart, and deciding with wise.
That's 12.
Jeez.
Wow.
I don't think you can roll under a 12.
I rolled a 10.
Oh, right.
There, true.
I keep rolling 9s. I don't know why.
Okay.
These
So,
dice are
the lion-
amazing.
Oh, nice.
It took really well. So the Sphinx leans down and it looks at you, and you feel its gaze on you, like the weight of literal millennia is staring into you. And it blinks slowly, suspicious, yet you almost feel
Slowly
friendly
through the
as
cat
the
is a good thing.
It's true. That is true.
and you hear it purrs almost contemplatively before looking at you, going, "What exactly do you want me to do, Miss Piper?"
I want to know what's going on. I came here to have a wonderful time with cats, and now we're just being attacked and threatened to be eaten. And that's not what you like. You are the most intelligent creature that I've ever heard of. Sphinxes were so smart. You are a genius cat. You are the god of cats, practically. You
Your
should
praise is-
punish those who put you in these positions, not the ones that have been forced here.
You see the Sphinx look at you, but the contemplative glance shifts to almost a gleeful glance, as you suspect that maybe you're misinterpreting the order of things within the park. The Sphinx lets out a slight chuckle, at your ignorance before going, Miss Piper, I feel you misunderstand the course of things within this park. The humans are not in charge. This is our territory. We
Oh,
control
that
the
makes a lot
park.
more sense.
I mean,
I
she
knew
spent a
cats were
lot of
better.
money on annual passes. I mean, I feel
I
like she's
do.
like part owner now.
Yeah, I've been coming here for like 15 years every weekend. You've seen me. You know who I am, clearly.
I do, and I respect your observance and your attitude towards your fellow cats within this park. Miss Piper, usually the Wildcat Romp ends with bloodshed. The park is fueled by the blood of the man who wishes to tour it. But occasionally we make an exception. Miss Piper, I tend to recruit the greatest employees at the Wildcat Romp for those who would choose to face us down. Would you perhaps like a job?
Do I get to pet cats all the time?
The cats would be your bosses, but I'm sure it would be appreciated.
I give the best ear scritches. Can Harry also have a job?
I
Would
am
you vouch for
unemployed
him?
currently.
Of course. He's my best friend.
He has not hurt any of the cats, not in any real way, and his blood has helped fuel the park for perhaps a day or so. Harry, would you care for a job on the backs of the vouching from Miss Piper?
Honestly, a steady 9 to 5 would not be brushed off.
We have excellent benefits as well.
I'm in then, I guess.
Do I still have free time to write?
Miss
I mean,
Piper,
that's
it
a
is the
side
standard
question.
9 to 5.
Okay,
Oh,
then awesome.
The standard 9 to 5. We have excellent health insurance and all the other coverage you may wish. And this last perk might be interesting to you. We also allow free annual pass holders to all of our staff, with
save so much
some
money.
that they may give to their family.
I don't have any family. I just have Harry.
Well, he is also employed, so he'll just be receiving one of his own, but you can pass them off to friends. So,
Cool. I'll take the job. That sounds fantastic. I get to work with cats. See,
If it
Harry,
keeps me,
see
if it keeps
everything
me
turned
alive,
around.
I'm down.
Can I
So,
hold Pebbles for the rest of the night?
absolutely.
Actually, what's his real name?
He has yet to be named yet. He will be named Pebbles.
Fantastic.
So, Gerald, Tim, and Blag, you stand back all kind of awestruck and confused and partly horrified, I imagine, as the two people you've been following around the park, and Blag, you've come to think maybe these people are better friends than my bosses, decide that they're going to go work for the evil cats who are trying to kill you. What do you do?
I do turn to Tim and Blag and I go, gentlemen, this is the hill I choose to die on. Join them if you will.
I just feel like I should ask you gentlemen to both mark my injuries, which were they were incurred in the line of duty. Therefore, I do have, I believe, a bit of recompense coming my way. This is a workers' comp issue. Therefore, gentlemen, you've both been served. However, I have a pistol. And I'm willing to shoot at a giant stone cat if need be, because I cannot, in good conscience, support whatever the fuck this is.
I'll tell you what, if you are willing to stay with us, workman's comp, no question. Maybe a little question, but we'll probably do it for you in the end.
I think it probably is the best thing you've ever gotten.
I won't shoot any real cats, but I'll shoot this fucking thing. It's gonna do no good. Oh god, what are we gonna do?
So do you pull your pistol out, or what exactly are you doing?
Can we ask the Sphinx if he'll let us go?
You can absolutely ask.
Or I guess, can we ask if we have to take jobs or if we can go too?
The Sphinx glances aside at you and goes, "Oh, Mr. Tim, Mr. Michelson, it's brave of you to assume that we were also offering you jobs." But the offer may be on the table. I have come to discover that some of the better employees tend to find themselves with the best employees. were an offer to be made, would it be one you would consider?
I would consider maybe having a retainer contract with our firm and your park. But as far as permanent legal counsel, I must stand with my partner here and say no. But we would still like to leave alive. For the record.
Well, it's a good thing you caveated the illegal representation because believe it or not, we do not need much legal representation. It turns out the courts, we tried for about a century, but it turns out the courts had issues taking cats as legal parties seriously. There was a string of judge disappearances, but that did not necessarily help us either. So we eventually decided to just eat anybody who tries to sue us.
I can tell you there are much better ways to do this, and when Scotch and Butterworth will by all means win every single one of your cases.
The Sphinx looks over at you, Gerald, and he's like, and now that I think about it, I believe you have tried to sue us.
I was trying to stay player-wise. I was trying to stay quiet for you guys, but now I can't. So, would you be telling me that you are Mr. Alexander, dear Sphinx?
Mr. Alexander is unfortunately deceased. He led a little conquest across the continent and eventually met upon an untimely demise, as man once is. But he did find me as a baby Sphinx and raised me, hence Uncle Alexander.
Ah, so you would be the one who does have ownership over this park then, in his name?
That would be correct.
I have it on good authority that Mr. Alexander hasn't paid his taxes in over hundreds of years.
Mr. Dinero, are you perhaps threatening me with a lawsuit? And he opens his mouth wide in something that seems to be a yawn, but seems suspiciously too wide.
I step back like 10 feet holding pebbles.
And I just make sure I'm a little bit in front of her just in case things go south.
My hand is firmly in my briefcase on my gun, even though I know it's fruitless. I feel like I should point that out, and I have one other backup option, but it's not going to go anywhere.
So I don't want to keep using stop deliberate disobedience as a crutch. I'm going to use expose those who don't think on the Sphinx.
Oh my god, okay, that's better.
Please tell me how you're insulting the Sphinx.
You think that you can hold property in the state of California without paying your proper dues? Well, I'm here to tell you, Egypt has no say in these lands. Born foreign or not, you were on the soil of USA, and I have documentation telling you have to pay.
Please roll plus wicked.
Okay, baby.
I believe you have rerolls.
Except
Yeah, I was
available.
going to say we have rerolls.
Let me think here. No, solid 10 with my plus wicked.
Okay. The Sphinx. He looks very taken aback as his mouth claps shut, and he's like, "How did you know about our tax haven? What research have you been doing, Mr. Dinero?"
I pat my associate right next to me, and I go, "Bloodhound, baby."
You never escape the grip of Went Scotch and Butterworth. You're never going to get past us.
Mr. Sphinx, I feel like I should point out at this point you have several options you can do. It's called currently non-collectible, which is a status where you don't actually pay anything back. Eventually it'll drop off in about 10 years. There's a lien that will be filed, of course, against any of your property. There's the offer in compromise, which we could do, which is based off of your assets, and there are ways to hide those assets. There's also just a payment plan, straight payment plan, no lien comes with that. I don't know if any of these options sound good to you. That's generally if you owe under $25,000, there's no lien. Above that, there's a certain amount. Is any of this making sense to you?
You should just hire him.
I slowly.
The Sphinx looks. slightly baffled, a little bit confused, and you see him glancing really like intently between Gerald, Tim, and Blag. And Gerald, he looks back at you, seeming to realize that you were the head lawyer. And he goes, Mr. De Niro, I seem to have misinterpreted your intent with that. Were you attempting to threaten me with a lawsuit, or were you offering your firm's services to represent me against the IRS?
Oh no!
Say yes. Say yes. Say yes. This is the real riddle of the Sphinx. Just say yes.
I do glance back at both my associates in this. We've worked together a long time. Scotch and Buttersworth mean a lot to me. They have a lot of loyalty, but I look back at those two.
Go for the retainer. Go for the retainer.
Whatever they want. Just whatever. Just do it. We can do
Retainer. Think
Well-
of the money.
I can't speak for my associates, but you owe us a lot of money.
Real quick. This is my 2 weeks notice, guys. I'm happy to help you with your tax situation as long as you just let me go. Whatever.
And I look
it
up
takes.
at the Sphinx. I'm like, if you can keep him from drinking.
I just occasionally imbibe, and when it's offered for free, you guys act like I've got a problem. I'm not the
Ask
one
him
that
how
got
he-
forced 3 times.
Ask him how he hit his head.
Okay, I was hiding from you 2 idiots. That's how I hit my head.
I can vouch for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll vouch for that too.
I
Thank
don't
you.
know. All I'm saying is I ain't never hit my head trying to hide.
Okay, maybe you're not good at hiding. I don't know what to tell you about this. Long story short, I'm out. Finally.
Hey Tim, the Sphinx looks at you, getting even closer than is strictly comfortable, and he goes, "So I have 1 volunteer to be eaten from your boss Gerald, and I have 1 offer of services from your colleague Blag. I am aware of his difficulties getting things
Ex-colleague.
done, but I am also aware that you are the one who keeps him in line. I do, in fact, need a representative against the IRS. So you asked for a retainer, I believe you heard. This is my offer for a retainer. I eat your boss, make you head, and give you your life."
Hey.
You drive a very hard bargain. Here is my counteroffer. No charge, but you, sir, are not eating my good friend here. So we will represent you, but we will also both walk away from this alive. However, you must eat Blag. He is a traitor. He has no loyalty. I have no interest in him anymore.
No, he just knows that you are the right person to be loyal to. That's what's happening here.
I look
Harry,
over
by the way,
to-
is just standing there going, this is I'm dreaming, right?
I look over at Tim like, I can work with this.
Mr. Sphinx, I've been working on your Form 433A right now, and I have a rough idea what your income, your expenses, and your assets are. I'm ready to go. I'll
Like
call
I
the
said,
IRS up this afternoon.
There's a reason they call me the Bloodhound. You do not want me coming after you. You want me on your side.
I mean,
Do
if
the
you
right
eat him,
thing and chomp on Blag, or convince him to come back with us.
Eat them both. Eat them both. I'm fine with it. I don't care.
if you eat him, it's not a problem.
I have PAL +1. Is there any way I can help Tim out?
You have, what was that?
I have
You have what +1?
the PAL.
Oh, okay. So,
Since our 1 PAL.
Gotta use up these 2 rerolls somehow.
tell me what you want to do, and we'll go from there.
Oh, man.
Even though I don't have PAL, can I help Blarg? That's a cute one.
Blarg.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
I'm tired, guys.
It's the dumbest
I guess-
name.
But
Don't worry, it's fake.
I mean, I'm kind of on her side with that because he's renounced the lawyers and wants to help, and so I guess now as studious employees of the park, we want to do what is best for the park.
With my briefcase, I pull out tons of legal documents, and just start talking, about various tax workarounds, much like Blag was offering, but also with ways to bring the park money.
Yeah.
They
it's-
also-
I would like to use help a friend get unstuck.
well, they are definitely stuck, so that's fair. So tell me what you want to do, and you have 0 PAL with the 3 lawyers because you just met them,
Yeah.
so it's +0.
Yeah. I'm going to try to tell the Sphinx. I'm going to be like, look, at the end of the day, we spent like the evening with these guys, and I point at Black. He's the only decent one of the group. The other 2, they're just mercenary. You can't trust them as far as you can throw them. And I understand you can throw people pretty far, but you can't trust them. The moment they walk out those doors, you're in trouble.
So you're trying to help Blag.
Wait, you're
specifically.
trying to
Yes,
get
I
us
am. I'm
killed?
helping Blag.
Okay, and what did you roll?
Well, I rolled a 7. If that doesn't do it, I might use a reroll.
Reroll.
So 7 would give Blag a +1 forward to the next roll he would make to get out of this situation.
Bearing in mind, I still think I have a -2, right, from that last situation.
Yes, actually, because you stumbled. So
Yes.
so it would be a -1. Would be what you'd get
Okay.
after that.
Should I
Okay.
reroll, guys? Should I attempt a reroll?
Well, so before you reroll, let me
Yeah.
tell you what happens on a 6 or less.
Okay.
You make a mess of things.
Ooh,
Yeah. So the risk is if
re-roll.
if my reroll is lower, the problem will be, I guess, resolved for the most part. Are we
I guess
down?
we can do the rerolls for.
Are we? Am I re-rolling, guys? Am I re-rolling?
We gotta use the rerolls.
I am okay with
I'll-
whatever
Sure.
happens.
Okay, I'm gonna re-roll. Godspeed, Jay.
Thank you.
Oh, cock die. That's a 3.
Huh.
Okay, so
Uh-huh.
the Sphinx looks at you, Harry, and he's like, "I saw him in work. He can't even hide properly."
Look, theoretically, I mean, it's not about his hideability. I mean, his job isn't hide and seek coordinator. His job is to do forms.
I think
His
I
job
think
with
we-
the
I don't
I
think
have
it's
a
our
s-
turn to fight.
I have assessed your value very low, lower than it really is. Believe me, I know. And because of that, the IRS won't come after you. You've got to understand. I've got the forms all ready to go. They're in this briefcase, along with some other stuff that could assist us with dispatching these 2 over here. Just saying.
the Sphinx looks at you, Black, and he's like, "Your services have already been determined, and I will assess
Fair
them
enough.
at right."
Fair
Harry, the Sphinx turns to look back at you, and he seems to get a very discerning and slightly concerned look as he stares at you. He's like, "Harry, I expect my employees to be good judges of character, and you assessing Blag over there as a great asset to the park is leaving me very concerned about your judge of character. I'm beginning to second guess you being an employee. Perhaps you would like to be a snack."
No, please don't.
She told.
He looks. He looks over at you. Miss Piper, are you still sticking up for your friend after his supposed claim that Blag is a positive asset to our park?
It's a moment of weakness, but he's been very useful and very helpful for the last 10, 15 years of our friendship. If you kill him, I'll be very sad. And then I'll just be crying all the time. Is that what you want? Tears don't feed you, just blood.
So I'm going to have you roll charm a heart into discerning, or just charm a heart into deciding. But I do not think this counts as inspirational mannerism. Actually, no. Your defense of a friend is an inspirational mannerism. So roll plus wise.
Do I get +1 because of pal?
No, because he didn't try to help you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because you're charming the Sphinx's heart into deciding not to eat your friend and to overlook his transgressions. So it's just plus sweet or plus wise.
Wasn't 12 this time, was it?
No,
It wasn't. There's one more reroll, right?
We have one more reroll.
Yeah.
What did you roll?
Yeah.
A 9,
Oh,
which isn't terrible, but it's not a definite.
Do you want to take it? The result of a 7 to 9 is an NPC will do it, but only if you do something they want for them right then and there to show that you mean it.
I mean, that's all what happened to me. I had a decent roll, and I went and just fucked it up.
True.
Yeah, so if it helps, on a 6 or less, an NPC is offended or enraged at your audacity and will react accordingly.
Okay, we'll just keep the 9. Look, how can I prove to you that you should keep Harry? Fuck all the other people. No offense, you've been great, but fuck all the other people.
It's fair enough.
So the Sphinx leans down and looks at you, and he goes, Miss Piper, you put me in a very interesting predicament here. You see, I was thinking about grooming you for management. And that this seems to be a very perfect test of your managerial capabilities. If you can represent the park and resolve the issue with our 3 lawyers over there, I will allow your friend to live. And he takes 2 steps back and begins watching everything intently.
Resolve the issue in what way? Does he mean
That's
kill
the
them?
riddle.
Does he mean kill them?
I think so.
I immediately go, Miss Piper, think
At least that one.
we could assist with so many legal opportunities.
I call
Do you
out.
want to just be left behind again by our
I
Lawyer.
brandish my pistol officially at this point.
Lawyer man.
Wait, just
Oh,
for
Jesus.
clarification, is Blag on our side again now, or where?
Blag's on
where
Blag's
are
side.
your
It is
allegiances?
every man for himself at this point. No. I'm
So-
ready to cap you both.
Like you have pulled out your pistol and you're brandishing it.
Yes.
Are you perhaps trying to influence somebody to do something through intimidation?
I'm not going to necessarily influence her. I'm ready to defend myself in case anybody does come after me.
So you're
this
you're
is
prepping it for
preparation.
future action. Okay.
For certain.
Then we're good.
Yep.
I'm going to call out to all of the wildcat friends in the local area and say, I have food. Who wants some? And pull out the steak and throw it at the lawyers.
Nummy nummy. Dinner time.
Okay. Let's see.
Sorry.
I don't think I have anything to handle that.
I'm trying to determine if it's a reasonable role for this, or if they just get mobbed.
Right.
Okay. So I
I'm
think what I will do
inspiring
here.
the cats to go eat them.
This has taken so many turns. I was prepared to die, then I was prepared for Jay to die.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I thought
And then
for
I almost
sure.
died.
Yeah.
I have to undo Harry's bad roll.
So Miss Piper, you have the stakes in your hand, and the Sphinx looks up, and you hear a slight bemusement, and he's like, Miss Piper, I could have used legal representation, but by all means, the park can always use more blood. Please continue.
These guys are just going to trick you out of your money, so throw stakes.
I'll do my work for free.
I
Yeah, I
specifically am aiming for the lawyers. But
Yeah, you see a pride of lions come out from underneath the rocks and start approaching you 3.
Mhm. Mhm.
What do you do?
Can,
Gun.
can I mean, Will stop deliberate disobedience do me any good right now against the Sphinx? Can I, in any way,
Or the
try? 'Cause,
lions.
but it's one thing. I think the Sphinx can control them all. Is my point.
So, change someone's mind or stop someone's behavior firmly and with authority. Tell me what you're thinking.
Well, I very much would like to tell the Sphinx that I will be of value, and I'm essentially going to be a slave because I will charge nothing. I'll hang around. I'll occasionally even donate blood to the cause if need be. Do what you want with the other two, but I will be there. I will help you out. I'm all for the cause, and I'm prepared to lay my pistol down and not shoot these lions. Even
Yeah,
if you
and
send
Mr.
them
Michaels
after
and Mr. De Niro have probably lowered your self-worth so much anyway.
Then I mumble, what does that say about the quality if he's willing to give it for free?
me.
So, Blag, I will call that acceptable if you
Yes.
actually lay the gun down.
Okay, gun is laid down. I'm not going to shoot
Okay.
animals.
Tim,
Roll
I've
Charm a
got the
Heart with Wicked.
briefcase if you want.
All right. Am I ready to roll?
Yep.
All right. Oh God.
Oh, we still got that -2.
And I dropped one on the floor.
It's -1.
Re-roll that sucker.
Was it
negative one?
It's a negative
I
one.
added one.
Oy, good
Oh, no, I
luck.
re-rolled. You're right. Fuck.
Well, I rolled. Hold on. I don't think there's a plus anything in my case, if I'm not mistaken, from my.
We got one left.
It's Wicked.
One reroll.
Yeah,
that.
my wicked is +0. So I've rolled a 5.
I would say re-roll.
There is a reroll left.
Yeah.
Are we okay with this?
Yes.
If I
Oh, yeah.
roll? Okay, all right. Let's get some stuff out of the way.
The most important role of Blag's life.
I rolled a 7.
Is that with the -2 or not?
No, it is not. So I
Oh,
rolled a 5.
The Sphinx just dive bombs at you and traps you in his mouth.
Absolutely. Understood.
So, what do any of you do?
Well, I mean,
I pull a pink slip out of my briefcase and quickly scribble on it and go, try to quit. You've been fired. And just throw the paper on the ground.
you hear me then say, I get severance that one.
Do you still get workers' comp if you get swallowed after you've been fired?
That's a good question. Yeah, I'm not even sure.
I guess that's going to require lawyers to figure out.
When
So
Scotch
you-
and Butterworth will figure out how the answer is no.
Well, he's going to get butterscotch on the case. So.
That's true.
So, you are trapped in the Sphinx's mouth, but it doesn't seem to be like moving to crush you and swallow you quite yet. You see the pink slip through the jagged teeth of the Sphinx. What do you do?
Somehow.
What do I do? What do I do? I do still have my briefcase.
It's the happiest and worst moment of his life.
Do I have anything else? I have nothing else other than a laptop. I guarantee the Sphinx doesn't need a laptop or a briefcase of any kind. What do I even do? What are my options even? I do 0. Okay, here's the thing. Well, I wouldn't know the answer to that. That wouldn't
Bash
help
his
me.
teeth out.
Go for the uvula.
Yeah, make him throw up.
Well,
If
How
How
anybody else wants,
anatomically correct is the Sphinx?
all I can say is, can I try and just open the case, force the case open, and keep its jaws open so I can try and jump out?
you absolutely can. That would be
Okay. It's a
I'm
Samsonite
going to call
case.
that yes. I'm going to call that. Oh boy, would that be facing danger, or would that be a physical act, which has a beneficial success for you? I think they're pretty equal. So we're going to say it's go the distance. Roll plus stout.
Plus stout. Oh boy.
you
Well,
don't have
that's
a
a
-2
-1.
anymore.
Let's see what happens. That's true.
Or actually,
oh,
well, do you have a higher brave or a higher stout?
higher brave. My stout's a -1, and my brave is a +1. So
So tell me how you courageously go in and do it, and we'll give you brave.
Okay. Courageously, boy. You know what I do? By opening it, I drop out all of my backup ammo. My laptop falls out. It's very important to me. My pictures of my unborn children are in there. All kinds of things that are very important that I would need. My medicine that I need to live is in there. I pour all of it out and I wedge it open like this, and I shove it and I scream like a real man, and make sure that his big old jaws are kept open. And just for added panache, I yell the word "brave" just to see what happens.
Okay, so roll plus brave, and there you go.
That's a 5, baby. Oh no!
So your briefcase slides under the teeth, and you start wedging it up. And as you yell "brave," you feel the teeth just get a little bit off the ground. So you reach into the briefcase to pry it up, and the Samsonite briefcase may have been more like the cheap aluminum you expect your company to provide for you. And the tooth slips straight through the briefcase, pinning it to the ground, and cutting your hand. Please take 1 harm.
Fair enough.
That puts you at 3, doesn't it?
No.
It puts me at 2. Oh, does it? 2, I think.
No.
I think 2.
it's 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He hit his head, and now he got his.
You got scratched by the.
How am I not
ocelot.
dead?
Oh, that one didn't actually cause harm.
Oh, okay.
So you hear the Sphinx just a slight purr come out of the back of its throat as its breath rushes through you. Blood. Do you continue trying to pry your way through or something? Bash through it? Anything else? Or do you give in?
I believe I've thrown everything I have out the window. Let's
start at this. Do you continue to confront the danger, or do you give in and get swallowed?
I'm not gonna give in.
I turn to Pipes and I go.
Well, hang on.
And whisper, I'm sorry. And I run and try to pry the jaw open.
Ooh.
What are you doing now?
So Blag, while he does that, you're continuing to confront the danger, and you just so happen to have a "Don't let fear control you."
Yes.
And the Sphinx has now caused you harm. So could you roll plus brave?
I can do that.
Can I try to stop Harry from running?
Oh goodness.
Somehow.
Okay, that's a little more like it. That's a 12, so 13.
You are going to be very happy with that result, because the result of a 10 plus on Don't Let Fear Control You is any harm or shock that you just withstood is turned back onto the source of it, even if he or she has already sustained harm or shock. So you feel the tooth slice through your hand, and it feels like you're likely going to need stitches. And your employer, you conspicuously just drenched the pink slip in blood like it never happened. Is going to have to pay a lot of workman's comp for this. And you reach in, and it turns out your briefcase has protected you. The Wench Scorched and Buttersworth aluminum briefcase has protected you, and you kind of bringing it all in, lift the briefcase up, and you force it up, and you actually break off a small piece of tooth, enough to try to slip through and get out. What do you do?
I try to get out desperately.
Can I try to yank him out? Because that's kind of
Like
where
a
I was
person.
heading.
I'm trying to stop Harry.
You're trying to, okay. So, okay.
Once he ended up in the Sphinx's mouth and everything, it just became a little bit more real, and I can't let this shit happen.
Okay, so starting with Piper, you see Harry try to run to pull Blag out of the mouth. And you do not want him to do this because you don't want him to endanger your new job. So you are going to roll.
No, I don't want him to die specifically, but also that's part of it too.
Okay. So you roll perfectly fair. So you roll stick it to a friend, because you're trying to make things more difficult for him darting to the. You're trying to stop him. So roll stick it to a friend with +1 pal to try to stop him.
What is that? What do I add to it?
1
pal. So +1.
Just pal.
Yes, pal.
10.
Okay. So Harry, Piper reaches back to you, flailing like, "No, Harry, don't get hurt." And somehow she either gets a hold of you, or you feel like a twinge of just like, I can't leave her. I don't know which one it is, but something happens, and you now take -2 to your next roll.
We have advantage. Piper and Harry have advantage. They are endgame, and I will die on this hill.
Whatever that means.
While all this is going on, could I do a find something that wasn't there before roll?
What are you looking for?
I want to know how much time has passed since they've closed the park.
Okay, so yeah, roll find something there that wasn't there before.
What's that? Plus wise?
Yeah.
10.
10. Okay, so you hold 2. That gives you 2 questions. One of which you said was how much time has passed. So it's now basically completely dark. Everybody's just illuminated by the floodlights, which makes it all a little more ominous. But even more importantly, you get a strange sense that you're it. You 5 are the last remaining guests in the park.
Whoa. I think I'll kind of count that maybe as well, what here is useful as the second one. But
What here is useful?
So
we
I
could
guess
link those two together.
since Winnie donated for advantage, I would say the closest thing to advantage is 2 good things.
Yeah, advantage for Piper and advantage for Harry. Oh, geez, that's a little tricky because you're trying to do different things at the moment.
Yeah, I know, right?
I will think about that while I answer Gerald's second part of the question. What here is useful? Well, before I know what's useful, I have to know what exactly you're trying to accomplish. So, what exactly is your main goal right now? Is it to represent the Sphinx? Is it to escape with your lives, save Blag?
Basically, escape with mine and Tim's lives. I was kind of hoping for a crack of dawn situation with discussing on how to cook hobbits, and the sun would, freeze things up a little bit here.
Okay, so your ultimate goal is to escape with your lives. What could be useful there? What would be useful there? Well, it's ultimately some form of distraction would probably be the most useful ways for you could run for the gates and try to escape with your life. And conveniently, the Sphinx literally has his mouth full, which is a perfectly fine distraction.
Tim?
So what do you do?
Well, so I don't know if we have a better chance of just running away, or if we can still find a way to convince the Sphinx to kill Blag and let us represent him.
Well, I mean, the first half of that is probably succeeding pretty well, but his legal count. What if we fail? Is he just going to do to us what he's done to Blag? Normally, I don't ask that question. I'm a confident man of the law, but
let me see. I gotta look this back up again real quick. I think I want to figure out how to, or if there's a way to best this Sphinx so that because I don't feel like he's gonna let us go, and I know that we saw everything getting barricaded earlier. So I would do know what fires in the word burn to try to figure out how to get rid of this again.
Bloodhound, baby.
Before we resolve that, Piper and Winnie, your advantage is you can just pick your result the next time you roll.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Okay. Well,
So
My
Or
job
continue.
at that point, I was pulling Blag out of the peepers.
Are you still gonna do it after she tried to stop you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just at this point. I'm just the morality of joining this group and doing this year after year after year after year just made me realize this is not it's not worth the money. So I yank him out, and I guess if I get to pick my role, I'll do max roll.
Okay. So that would be we're gonna call it be bold and daring. So you just keep calm and you do what you need to do. Blag has been eaten by the lion. No, Jason just disappeared.
Yeah.
I mean, just tell me what happens.
I just run up, and he's already trying to slip through the crack in the teeth that he created, so he's probably got a hand visible. So I, like run and kind of grab his hand, both feet on the bottom jaw of the Sphinx, and just pull.
Okay, so you get him pulled out, and you're back with literally perfect timing. So Harry and Blag, the Sphinx kind of leans forward, like onto the edge of its snout, to get a better look at both of you, and you hear him sort of like humming, like bravery. Bravery is an attribute I truly enjoy within my employees. Harry, well done. Blag, I have reconsidered my earlier opinion of you. If you would like to be staff members at this park as well, the offer is now extended to you.
Harry, what are you thinking, buddy?
I mean, I just don't know how we're gonna get out of this, but at the same time,
Take it.
can we do this year after year?
Yes.
I will say I've been with this law firm for a dozen years. It's easier than you think. It gets easier every year. It does eat your soul. Don't get me wrong. But it's easier, and you're still.
You get to work with your best friend.
Yeah, I look back at Pipes, and I sigh, and I say, "Come on, let's go."
Is that a yes? Yes. All right. Okay, good. Yeah. Hey, Sphinxy.
Your turn.
Yeah. We are in.
Flynn.
Yeah, thank you. That's how it's finished.
The Sphinx looks between Harry, Piper, and Black, and he's like, "This was a very well accomplished Wildcat romp. I see we have gained a good deal of blood and what I assume will be very loyal employees to us." He glances down at you, Harry, and is like, "I do not ask eternal servitude. I only want at most a year and a promise to never speak of what has occurred."
Oh well, shit! I can do that. No
I'm not
problem.
enslaved.
That's easy. That's great.
I assume that after a year's time, you will be happy to remain in service. Like I said, our benefits are very good.
I mean,
and we do
I
pay
get
a
that.
competitive wage.
Dental.
Yeah.
Vision.
fact,
Nobody
you
ever
first-
does vision. Vision.
We do have vision.
Oh,
It's
it's good.
all premiums paid.
Wow.
Well, yeah. Well,
What
then
is
I'm in.
this dream world?
Yeah.
I'll go work for the damn Sphinx in real life.
But you three, please step behind me. The lawyers have overstayed their welcome and need to make a decision very quick.
I nod
I'm
my
holding
head.
pebbles, but I'm just like pushing them both. Like, let's go,
Yeah,
let's go.
Come on.
Let's see. Gerald and Tim, the Sphinx, sort of nonchalantly stands up. You see him do a motion that you assume is probably a stretch as he walks between you and the front gate and goes, "I'm still feeling generous today with how well this has gone, and I do, in fact, need a representative against the IRS. Eating their agents has not gone over well, and I have a few centuries worth of unpaid taxes that should really be cleared up. So, my original offer stands. The retainer is your life, nothing more, and you will represent me free of charge."
I turn to Tim and I'm like, Tim, go with Blag, do the paperwork. I'm part of the most dangerous game. And I go for Blag's gun.
Oh shit!
Tim, what do you do?
I definitely am going to be staying with Gerald. We have a bond. We're in deep, and I would also like to. I'm assuming that Gerald is going for Blag, in which case I am wholeheartedly behind it. We called him the best assistant that we've ever had, and he left us. So if Gerald wants to hunt Blag, I am behind on him on it.
So
Can I use my point?
sure, tell me what you want done. If it makes sense as a roll, you can fix your result.
Those lions are still honing in. They haven't had a chance to eat yet.
As the whole event is going down, they kind of sat down and circle in deference to the Sphinx, but they are in fact still there, and they are in fact still hungry.
I will say, if they try to eat him.
I'm going to call that chart my heart into deciding.
And I'm making
assuming
it
you-
at the highest number I possibly can, 15.
It's like the Lions didn't even need it, but as future management, they defer to your word, and they prime themselves, and they roar on cue to just hammer home the threat.
I think
Oh, what do you do, Gerald and Tim?
Gerald, I think that we're in over our heads. I think our best bet is to remind them that they should know from all of the papers that you have been serving, we have come prepared. And even with our deaths, we still know all about that tax evasion. And when Scotch and Butterworth will still come after them, tooth and nail if we do not come back. So I feel it is in our best interest to offer ourselves as retainers, in this case, swallow our pride as much as it hurts me and not take the money. And then later on, we can do something about Blag. We can take care of him at a later date.
I'm bound and determined on this. I'm trying to save you, Chris. Tim, Pontypool. Step over by them, but never trust them.
But I can't leave you. I'm not heel turning on this. We came in here together. We're leaving together one way or another. I know what I want to do. I want to hit the gun out of Gerald's hand and drag him over to the other three.
Well, I was just going to say I look at Tim and the gun and I drop the gun for Tim's sake.
Perfect.
I'm just gonna let it happen. The gun gets kicked out past the lions, leaving. Well, the gun gets kicked away, and that's where I'm leaving it. Gerald, your gun is now it requires you to pass through some very hungry lions to retrieve it. And Tim has kicked it away from you. What do you do?
I accept this. Yeah, I grab. I don't. Maybe not kiss, but I grab Tim's hand is in like a to the future, I guess.
The Sphinx looks between you two, and he goes, "Is this acceptance of my terms?"
Yes, wholeheartedly.
Is this an appropriate time to tell you about the tax evasion of my other shelter? Because you'll be representing me there as well.
I don't leap or anything. I look back at the gun, questioning those odds.
I point out that was not in the initial agreement, but that we can try to work something out, but that will require a separate negotiation. And remind the Sphinx that we're lawyers, but there is still honor here, and that we hold to our word.
The Sphinx, do you concur with this, Gerald, or do you do something else?
Yeah, I pull out a new business card, like somehow magically printed with Uncle Alexander's Animal Sanctuary legal team. Like new business cards out of nowhere from the briefcase that
You're like, we're going against this park tonight, one way or the other.
We may seem like fools, but we are prepared. Very analytical.
Okay. The Sphinx looks between you, Gerald, and you, Tim. He's like, you've answered the riddle of the Sphinx. Do not trust lawyers who will do all their work for free. The proposal has been accepted. Your retainer is your life. The Sphinx makes some weird motions with his feet, and you feel a rumble pass through the ground. The lions all back off, leaving the way to the gate free. You may go. I will have my lawyers contact you, or my in-house team contact you. People seem to find them unnerving, probably because they're jaguars. But they will be in contact with you for future next steps. We will get formal contracts drawn up. He nods to you, Gerald, and you, Tim. You may go free. The gate has been opened. He looks to you, Harry, to you, Piper, and to you, Black, and going, your future services will be appreciated as staff of this park. Your employment will start tomorrow morning, but as deference to the events you have now gone through, you may have your first week paid off. I will see you in a week.
That's great. I have one question. I actually have a favor to ask. Can you ask the ocelots to come here?
The lion just sort of nods his head, and you feel another subtler rumble go through the ground, and you see the ocelot family from before and a few others kind of just walk up to you with a cocked head like, what can we do for you?
15 USC SS 2651.
It's kind of weird timing, but he turns to Pipes and he pulls out a ring and says, "This is actually the real reason why I came with you tonight. I got a little derailed, but."
Fuck.
It's been 15 great years and one really rough night.
And I got to pet an ocelot.
And you got to pet an ocelot.
So
though.
best night ever. Duh, of course I would.
Yay!
I pull out a little packet of papers. I give Harry a prenup. I'm like, you may want to review this and sign this before all said and done.
I make more money.
Yeah, she should sign. That was for Winnie.
I'm the author.
I give Piper a copy also.
I shred it in front of your face.
The Sphinx looks down on you, and you swear you see what might be a little stone tear creep down. And he's like, I just so happen to be an ordained minister after the conquest of Alexander.
Of course you are.
Would you care for me to sign your paperwork?
I think. Are you ready?
That would
for
be
it?
the weirdest night ever, into the weirdest night ever. But sure, let's do
Let's
it.
do it. I think it'll be a story to tell the kids. Yeah.
The Sphinx looks to you, Gerald and Tim. Lawyers, please draft us a wedding paperwork.
I pull out pre-prepared wedding paperwork as well.
Can my wedding gift be that I pet the ocelot as much as I want?
Oh.
The Sphinx looks at you and goes, Miss Piper, your wedding gift is that you may take Pebbles with you as one of your own pets.
You're the best boss ever.
The Sphinx lays
awkward.
one...
It would be really awkward during Undercover Boss, though.
I tried that once. It really didn't work out. The Sphinx leans down with one toe gingerly pressing into the paper, leaving a nice dusty imprint that he considers his signature.
Well, we'll work something out, I suppose.
Hey, we all live.
As everybody starts to meander away, like for their 1 week vacation beforehand, I pull out new, just general new employee packets. And I'm like, yes, enjoy your time, but please go over these documents before returning to work. It would be muchly appreciated.
The Sphinx looks at your paperwork, his head a little askew, and he's like, "Is this what they look like now? I've been using the paperwork Alexander gave his army.
A little
Maybe
piece
that's why
of
my
me
staff
dies
is So you all kind of head to the gate.
Yep.
And head home.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'll be the session. That'll be the end.
Yay!
Yay!
I did not expect everyone to get out of there.
No.
Nope.
There for a minute, I was sure. It's
Mhm.
like,
I didn't expect 95% of what happened to happen.
well, yeah,
So,
but there
I
towards the
didn't
end, I
expect
was
my
certain.
character to get married.
Nope. Did not see that coming.
You never know what happens.
Greg, thank you so much. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
a
no
lot
problem.
of
That was
fun.
great.
Yeah.
Honestly and truly, though, I do really want to put pen a fucking Ocelot so bad. Like, it's not even funny.
Chris, thanks for hanging with me through thick and thin, even though I was ready to sabotage myself.
Listen,
That's
there's, like I said, there's honor amongst, we're men of the law. Okay, we may seem slimy and bad, but we still have a code.
You still want to see justice done. All right, well, let's start doing our who we are's and where you can find us is and good nights. Let's start with Nikki.
I'm Nikki. You can find me at Beholder to No One or Dice Before Dawn or Sound Control RPG or Awfully Queer Heroes. One of those four, three of which I own. Beholder to No One was just signed on Geekspectives Network, so you can find us there as well. And yeah, I have a shit ton of podcast stuff, so go listen to it. And if you need an editor, also hire me for your podcast.
Nice. Joshua?
You can't find me anywhere except for on OD&D's own A Fistful of Dice, where I voice one of the regular characters.
And I quoted you in an earlier game, Josh.
Oh,
'Cause
nice.
I had a hard time hitting an accent. and
Keeping
so-
that accent, yep.
I guess I'm the next square. So I'm Dan. I'm the DM of Dice and Dens podcast. I am Bartholomew on the Fistful of Dice. You can find both of those at odndpodcast.com. Also, I hosted this whole thing along with my wife, so I am going to sleep all day tomorrow.
And you beat your goal from
And
last
we
year.
beat our last goal,
Yay.
1755. That's nothing to sneeze at. It's awesome.
Oh, that's great.
All right, Jason.
I'm Jason Klom. I run the Stolen Dress Podcast Network, stolendress.com. KLAMM is my last name. I'm in various places under various names because I'm an idiot. But at JKLAM, JKLAMM on Twitter. I host Dan and Jay's Comedy Hour podcast with Dan. I host the Comedy on Vinyl podcast. I'm on Of Dice and Dens with Dan as the DM. I host Dispatches from Fort Awesome, the news radio podcast, and a few other things. But stolendress.com is the place to find them.
Somebody who does more than me, that's weird.
Barely.
Chris.
I don't
Yeah, so I am Chris. I am a software developer, software engineer. You can find me at christophermcarlson.com. That's where all of my links are for all of my socials. If you want to get in touch with me, maybe your podcast needs a website, or maybe you need a website for something else. You have a cool app idea, let's figure something out. I'm going to start streaming on Twitch tomorrow. Actually, is going to be my first stream, noon to 4 Mountain Time. That's going to be at twitch.tv/Chris Codes Stuff, which is not an easy name to say. But yeah, that's it.
All right, and last but certainly not least, Greg.
I'm Greg. I'm the GM/narrator, as the Heaviest Apocalypse on Earth calls it. I'm also a software engineer. I do not have a fancy front page, and I also don't really have anything else. So there's not much places to find me. I'll have Dan or somebody put my email up somewhere if he wants to get in touch. Otherwise, I wander around Reddit and the other places. I don't really got much of anything. I just saw this on Reddit and figured, hey, this sounds like fun, and here I am.
Awesome.
That's what I
Yeah,
got.
thank you.
If
great.
you want to, you could put it in the Twitch chat. But
Ready.
I would say that after tonight, I would be surprised if some folks don't try to headhunt you for some other games.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was pretty great.
So much fun.
You rolled with
Yeah,
some
that
serious
was a
punches.
blast.
Yeah.
I apologize. I'm like this in every game.
Yeah.
I am a distraction at best. So thank
The
you
leap-
for your
Yeah, the lemur game last night was chaotic as heck.
They did end up with a rocket launcher, let's just say.
amazing.
And apparently, I'm always this way in the same game as Jay.
Yeah, that's-
Like always
Yeah.
the stubborn,
Love it.
money grubbing guy. Like I don't know.
And so, yeah, just thank you to everyone who's watched all weekend. This was 12 games over 3 days. I think that's like, what, 36 hours of gaming? We raised $1,755 for Simply Cats to help save kittens and cats. They're a no-kill shelter, cage-free. It's a really cool place. You should check out their website at simplycats.org. And we plan on doing this again next year, so keep an eye out on us. There's going to be a raffle for all those who donated. I'm going to probably pull that next weekend because there are probably folks who either didn't get a chance to watch now but might watch the VODs, or, I know my payday's on Tuesday. So I'm going to keep them up and let people, give people a chance to watch them and decide whether or not they want to continue to donate and get more raffle options, because your donations directly affect how many virtual tickets basically you get for the raffle. So
Can they find
keep
that
an eye
stuff
out
at
for that.
meowrathon.com, Dan?
Meowrathon.com, right up there on the screen.
Thingy.
All right, and thanks a lot, everyone. Have a good night. It was a blast.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you. That was a lot
Thank
of fun.
you. This was